Megan, and Carrie Annie.
Oh, it's Chris Avalon Unfiltered, bitch. Hello, everybody. Long time no see. I know, right? Haven't been on here in a minute, but welcome to a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I'm your host, Chris Avalon, and yes, we will be talking about all the latest in celebrity news, gossip, anything that got to do with entertainment. We talk about it on this here show. If you are in the live stream, don't be shy. Make sure you leave your little comments on the side based on whatever topics we talk about and all that good stuff because we do have a lot to talk about. It's been a minute. I've been gone for like what, 4 days? Took like a little mini vacation, but I wasn't really vacationing. I was working like crazy. I was doing a lot of crazy stuff. So I am tired, but I was like, I got to give y'all a show. It's way too much going on. And there's some things that we got to get into, including Jennifer Lopez and this torch. I ain't want to be the one to say I told y'all so, but apparently it is what it is. Hold on. We take a sip of that good old water. Because, people always want to equate me being a hater and all this other stuff when I say things. But when I actually put shit out there and then the big trades start talking about it and then it becomes national news, now all of a sudden the truth be hurting. But whatever. Apparently she canceled 7 dates of her This Is Me Now tour because them tickets ain't selling. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, there was an interesting article that came out about pop stars and the aging, like aging gracefully and all other stuff. We're gonna get into that as well. Plus, there's some tea coming out that Miley Cyrus may be replacing Katy Perry over there at American Idol, and apparently people are fighting behind the scenes over whether or not she should get the gig because they don't feel like she's family friendly enough. Yeah, okay. You mean boring? So yeah, story. Plus, I only had 9 topics, and I hate odd numbers, so I had to find an even. So we got an even 10, and I had to add at the last minute. Vin Diesel is pissed off because apparently producers of this upcoming Fast 11 movie will not give him a huge budget for this final outing. Well, apparently he's not good at math because if he was, he would realize that the numbers ain't doing well. The math ain't been mathing over there in a while in regards to that movie's turning a profit. So we'll talk about that. Plus, this story about the X-Men 97 creator, Beau DeMayo. I got some tea on that. We're going to talk about that because I haven't been giving my opinion, even though I've been seeing a lot of other people out here spelling it and shockingly enough, I'm seeing like the majors is talking about it in regards of like he was fighting over a possible OnlyFans, that sort of thing. So we'll get into that. Plus, Drake Bell is slamming Will Friedle and Ryder Strong from Boy Meets World because he said that they were BSing. He's calling cap on the fact that saying that they was manipulated over the fact of the guy that said he didn't sexually assault them people. So we're going to talk about that. Plus, the GLAAD Media Awards happened earlier this week. We're going to get into that. Plus, the amazing speeches from Oprah and Niecy Nash and how she said that she was advised not to come out by some people in the industry. I would have like, name them, in the words of Sutton Track, name them, because they probably the ones in the goddamn closet don't want nobody telling AT or clocking them because of who they friends with. Because apparently in this industry they think, or just in life, if you associate yourself and you have gay friends, automatically you are into having sex with people of the same sex, which is not true, but whatever. And speaking of gays, child, Luke, remember Lucas Gage and Chris Appleton, that hot ass mess of a relationship? Well, apparently Chris done got himself a new man, and we're gonna talk about it. Plus, speaking of people possibly on the LGBTQ spectrum or possibly using us for a damn storyline. Kyle Richards refuses to reveal the reason why her and Mauricio was breaking up. We're going to talk about that because that came up during the third part of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills reunion. Plus, Nene Leakes is throwing shade at Porsha Williams because apparently Porsha was like she didn't want to do an episode of the Up Shows with her. Do you know that show with Kim Fields that's on Netflix? So she went on the live and she talked about it. We'll talk about that on the show. Plus, whatever y'all want to bring up and talk about throughout the show, because I don't know if this is gonna be a long one, but I know with that Jennifer Lopez one, I'm probably gonna have to go in and dissect and break down and do all that other stuff while we do the show. But anyway, before we get to the topics, do yourselves a solid and me, please. Hit that like button, that subscribe button, and the notification button. I ask y'all every episode with love, of course. So that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. I do see there are a few people in watching the show right now. How you doing? There was too many things that was talking about, and I don't want to be on here doing like a 3-4 hour show. So I will save some notes for tomorrow. Like there was a good story that came out about Bruno Mars and his alleged gambling debt. We're gonna talk about that tomorrow. Plus, there was a story that came out about Wendy Child, the IRS coming after Wendy Coins. So Kevin Hunter ain't the only one that's, trying to get Wendy money. The IRS want him they money too. She ain't paid her. They said she ain't paid her taxes since 2019. And they said this is before the whole conservative shit. So we're gonna get into that tomorrow. Plus, I think the what was it? Sabrina started speaking out and about that Lifetime situation over there. So I want to get that story and bring all that in and talk about that tomorrow. So yeah, I'm giving you a lot of shows this week because I've been missing out and I haven't and I'm trying to catch up and give y'all the day. So without further ado, let me hit my banner per usual. Where hold on now, where is it? And let's get into this story. Okay, let's get into J-Lo. Child. Well, apparently the people was mad at me when I was like that album was gonna flop, and it did. That nobody wanted an album about her relationship with Ben Affleck. You already gave us that with the previous record. This Is Me Then. You gave us that. Then you were giving us mediocre R&B tracks, pop R&B tracks. Nobody wants to literally hear you saying them type of songs. People wanted the dance music, that sort of thing. You ain't want to give us that. You wanted to sit and gloat about your relationship with your man. And based off the sales, nobody cared except your hardest of core fans. So it recently came out that 7 dates on her North American tour that she hasn't performed, live in like 5 years. She canceled them dates without explanation to support her new album. And, she came out with the companion films over on Amazon Prime Video, which was a little movie musical, which I was like all over the place. It made no sense. I was confused. I think the audience was confused too, even though they'll sit up and lie to you and say they liked it. How many times y'all repeatedly watched it? I'll wait. And then she came out with the documentary, which I didn't even care to watch, but I did see the clips online, and I'm sitting there like, girl, the delusion is delusioning. So, the sleuths of the internet, meaning her fans, they noticed that Ticketmaster quietly added cancellation notices to the Nashville, Tennessee, Raleigh, North Carolina, Atlanta, Tampa, Florida, and New Orleans listings for the This Is Me Now trek earlier within the week, which is weird because, well, do I think that Jennifer Lopez could sell out a Nashville, Tennessee concert? I don't know. Maybe she did that little venue that Justin Timberlake did when he was promoting his album. Maybe that would have worked. But as far as like her selling out an arena, I can't see that happening. Not in no Tennessee. And Raleigh, North Carolina. Okay, now most people from New York don't move down to North Carolina, but they moved down to, was it Raleigh? I think it might have been, but so I can't see her. I don't know. I don't know if she could sell out, but Atlanta is weird that she wouldn't be able to sell out Atlanta. I would expect her to be able to sell Atlanta because all the gays live down there. The gays don't got love for J Lo. Just asking. Maybe not the black gays. They'll go see Beyonce before they child. Why does They probably go see Michelle Tanitra Williams before they go see Jennifer Lopez in Atlanta. But anyway, so they say even more curiously, previously announced shows in Cleveland and Houston were wiped from the company's website entirely. But wait a minute, how can she sell out Texas? She played Selena. How you don't sell out Texas? The Mexicans down in Texas, y'all don't got love for J Lo? I'm curious. Wait, hold on. Let me turn this light. This light is a little too bright on me now. My ring light. Oh wait, now it's too dark. Oh, did I just turn it off? I did. Uh-uh. What just happened? It's dark and okay, there it is. I'm like, child, what just happened to my ring light? My ring light is having she got an attitude today. But anyway, back to the show. Okay, so it said the 7 days were scheduled for August 20th through August 31st. So now the show actually is going to end on August 17th, which is those final two New York City dates that she's going to be doing at Madison Square Garden. And what's the weird part is they said that the Ticketmaster site blamed the event organizer for the cancellations, but did not offer further information. So how was the organizer's fault when, okay, so maybe what it is, and here's the thing. What I truly believe this is low ticket sales. A lot of times people are not caring and people are not buying tickets. Maybe what I should have did, let me see. J-Lo tickets, MSG, because I'm in New York, Chad. So I'm curious to see what would those tickets look like for Madison Square Garden. And how much they're going for? Oh, well, they said that. Wait, she has a show in Newark, New Jersey. Hold on. Okay, so let me do this. I'm gonna pull. I'm gonna share the screen. Is that it? Okay. So we're gonna share the screen. So it said section 222. That's on the okay. So now I'm gonna spill some tea. So since y'all already know I work at the garden, some of y'all, how much of tickets for 212? That's on the eighth floor. That's like up here. This is the higher floors. This is the lower floor. This is where all the rich people be going. Well, the people with coins go to buy tickets and stuff. And this is the stage, and this is actually the floor. So the floor is, let's see, let's be nosy. 11.99. Girl. Okay, so right by the stage on the side, then it's 13.21. We got 6.59. There's 577. Now let's go upstairs to the sixth floor. 350. 350, 341. This is okay. So now, this is the right side. This is the good side where if you want to see if J Lo pulls a Madonna and is like literally, I don't know. I'm like, let me point because you can't see my finger. Like right over here, if this side of the stage, that's where Madonna likes to be on the right. I don't necessarily know if J Lo will be on that side. First of all, why does her stage look like a ding-a-ling? Like this is like the head, and this is like a big thick shaft, which I'm sure she's used to with all the men she's been with. But okay, so it says 300 up here. So y'all gonna be paying like $300 and stuff. That actually don't. Does that seem bad though? Like $300 for a ticket? That don't seem bad. But I don't know. It says from 135 and that sort of thing. So I wonder if they got tickets for the bridge. What is like that little walk that is like a catwalk that they have up in there. So I don't know. Are y'all willing to spend three something or five something or $1,200 for a J Lo ticket? I don't know. But it says section 212, row 20. Row 20 is all the way up at the top. I don't want to sit that high up, quite frankly. Like if I want a ticket, I would want to be lower, like in row one or two. Like when I went to go see Madonna, I was literally in the 200s, but I was where the hell was I? Oh, okay, I was in the 200, but I was in the third row and in the middle, which was a perfect spot. And my tickets wasn't that expensive to go see her. But the question remains, is J Lo that girl to be out here charging that kind of coin for her type of show? Because here's the thing. I think it's partially her fault. I don't feel like she has truly invested as much into her music career as she has in her acting career. And I heard people bring up, oh, well, when it comes to her acting career, I mean, she still got actors. She still got the other. That's not the point. I said, let's stick to the topic. The topic is about the music. You put the movies and stuff on the side, even though I do want to see that Atlas movie. I think that's what it's called. That's coming out on Netflix. They showed the trailer for that this week. Um, we understand she got the movie thing on lock and she's doing whatever she's doing on there. We need to focus on the music. The music, and the fact of the matter is, people didn't want what she gave. She gave mid-tempo R&B tracks, R&B pop tracks. We don't go to Jennifer Lopez for the vocals. We go to Jennifer Lopez because we want to see spectacle. We want to see pomp and circumstance. She's a showgirl in so many ways. So I feel like what she should have done, instead of all of a sudden now in her mid-50s, after doing that It's My Party world tour that she did, remember that was the time that she actually put on a proper tour. Why'd you wait till your 50s to do all that when you have, and people hate the comparisons, but let's talk about the artists that are in that same class as Jennifer Lopez who perform. Beyonce, Lady Gaga, Madonna, all these other type of girls. Taylor Swift, they actually go out and they've been consistently touring with their music. Every album they tore. Jennifer Lopez wasn't doing that. Whenever she would put out music, she'd do a one-off little new concert special, and that would be it. And then I guess that was okay back in the day because the internet wasn't interneting the way it is now, when you didn't really have to rely on that. You could rely on physical, sales and all that other stuff. And she didn't really need the money because she was making so much money as an actress. She wasn't really making a whole lot of money from the music and all her 5,000 and other endorsement deals. So she didn't really need the music. She didn't really need to rely on the music like Taylor Swift did or does, or maybe she doesn't really anymore because she's savvy with her business, or Beyonce. Beyonce's bread and butter has always been her music career. She tried to act and y'all wasn't buying. Well, we wasn't buying it. I'll throw myself up in there. Miss Mamas cannot act to save her damn life because she's not willing to relinquish control. Same thing with Madonna. Madonna is got the music thing on lock, but whenever it came to her acting, she was not willing to relinquish control and be that character, which is why a lot of times her acting was god awful. Except for whenever y'all will put her in certain things, like she was good with Desperate Seeking Susan. She was good with Dick Tracy when she would play like sort of the. It's like she knew how to play up that sex kitten, femme fatale, Veronica Lake, that sort of vibe situation. So when you know how to put people in certain characters, it works. But as far as if you was trying to be Meryl Streep, it wasn't going to work. So Jennifer Lopez has it on lock, but now that she's in the later part of her career, now she want to focus on touring and stuff. And she's no shade, she's not on the level of Jennifer, Beyonce, and because she hasn't built that momentum with her musical audience. People come out, they listen to her music, it's like, okay, Jay, that was cute or whatever, but they moved on, which is also why I think for over the years, until she said she felt inspired to come out with this new album, Jennifer Lopez always focused on, she would throw out singles here and there and make a little music video, and that was it. I feel like, and this is probably going to hurt her ego, but sis, get over it, because, you know, there have always been stories about you not being the nicest person or whatever. And sometimes, that ego just going to have to take a little hit. That's just the nature of the business and the reality. And if Benny Medina ass ain't going to sit up in there and tell you, I damn sure will. I don't work for you. So he wants up there and continue to shove his head up your ass because you probably his most popular and only client that he got working. If he's not going to tell you the tea, somebody got to tell you, sis. And the fact of the matter is, you either need to go and scratch this whole shit and come up with a thing of, you know what, I'm just going to do a residency. Go back to doing a residency in Vegas, or you're going to have to scale this shit down to doing some smaller venues. Like, to me, I feel like Jennifer Lopez would be better off at a Radio City. I know that hurts the ego, sis, but you brought this upon yourself. You did not invest in your music career as much as these other people that I mentioned have. So you are a Radio City performer, or if you go on Madison Square Garden, because I don't even know if them tickets sold out, you can go and do the theater, which is much smaller. It's a cute spot. Trust me, I worked in there. They'll probably close off the back and then have everybody kind of move up so that way it looks like it's more packed than it is in there. And there is a good amount of seats. You could probably sell 4,000 tickets, do multiple nights up in there, and it's cute or whatever. You are not going to be no shade, but it's just like, if you can't sell out all these big venues, then it just goes to show that, you thought you was that girl, you thought you was going to eat, and the true tea is the true tea. And it came out. The album, I already told y'all, we made a mistake, said it came in at number, what was it, 27, 28. Real number actually came out first week sales, that she came in 38th place on the Billboard charts. So at this point, it's like, sometimes you got to give people the hard truth. And the hard truth is that people don't care about This Is Me Now. And, Page Six apparently reviewed the 13-track record as uninspired, opining that Lopez is bogged down in her glory days as she sings about her on-again relationship with her husband, Ben Affleck, who she first dated in the early 2000s before eloping in Las Vegas in 2022. And that's what it is. It's just like, it didn't come across as inspired. And not only that, but I will also say this. If y'all get a chance, definitely read that article, Justin Timberlake, Jennifer Lopez, and the Challenge of Aging a Pop Career Gracefully. And what was it? Variety did it. I actually posted the article, the link and everything in the description box down below, or if you're watching live on YouTube, it's down there. So if you want to click and watch it, it was a really good read. I actually enjoyed the article. Some people were saying to me, "Oh, I don't like the articles being so ageist," and it's like, really? Because it wasn't. It was spot on. And if you know this industry is all about, especially the music industry. The music industry is ageist towards everybody. Men, particularly more, I think more harshly towards women, but men too. And I feel that because look, it explains like, well, the Rolling Stones, yeah, they get to perform in their 80s, and who else? And Elton John and Barry Manilow and so many other iconic artists. But the reality is, and Bruce Springsteen, who did release a new single for the first time in like, was it? No, it wasn't. Was it Bruce Springsteen? Or was it? No, it was Billy Joel, not Bruce Springsteen. It was Billy Joel. So Billy Joel released a new single for the first time in like what, 25, 30 years, something or another. I don't know. I don't keep count, but it was in decades. We'll say that. And he premiered it at the Grammys. It was cute or whatever. I'm not the demographic. I don't listen to Billy Joel. I mean, I grew up on his music because, like I told y'all, when I would get ready in the morning, my parents were always all about, we had to listen to older music because if we listened to the current music at the time when I was growing up, like Britney and all of them, I wasn't getting ready for school. So they put on that other music, which they didn't realize it opened my mind up to different genres and stuff of music, which basically helped me when I was growing up and I was studying classic piano and playing and learning music and studying music and all that stuff. So they didn't realize they helped me, but they did. So um, I say all this to say, so yeah, so they basically was something like that, and then Justin Timberlake and the whole cringe factor of like how he marketed this new album, and how him and Jimmy Fallon, who Jimmy Fallon stay licking Justin Taint, and how that whole Saturday Night Live episode where he appeared on, well, they both appeared on it, and then Dakota Johnson, they went and interrupted her monologue or whatever the case was, and how it came across more cringe than anything. And I have to say, Jennifer Lopez's marketing when she went on SNL, it wasn't bad. Although that her and that Ayo Edeberry situation, that kind of, I think that also rubbed people the wrong way. And sidebar, shout out to Ayo Edeberry, who I believe won a GLAAD award for Bottoms, or Bottoms won at the GLAAD. We're going to get into the GLAAD awards later on, but also congratulations to Ayo, because I just heard that they silently greenlit The Bear for 2 more seasons. So we only know about 3. Season 3 was coming, season 3 and 4 is coming, and they're filming it back to back. But anyway, back to this. I just want to give her flowers while we're talking about J-Lo. And um who's this other one? Justin Timberlake. I said, who's this other one? Look at me, forgot already. And they haven't been. They've been kind of giving, the critics have been going in on Justin Timberlake's new album. They said that after Man of the Woods, which was terrible, and it was, that he tried to take a little risk or whatever. I call it the Duck Dynasty era, because he thought, after all them years of dick riding black people to success, he thought, and I do agree with the article, they said that he thought that even though the lyrics was a little weak and the production from Timbaland and Pharrell, which is the same thing that I said about Madonna and Hard Candy, the production overrode the overall the overallness of her Hard Candy record, which is like, I listen to it if I'm working out, or if I'm feeling cute or whatever, I'll listen to Hard Candy. But you know what? No shade, but Madonna ain't gave us a good album since Confessions of a Damn. And they did lump her in there too, where they were talking about how she had to resort back to being a great, like doing the greatest hits, but in her own way. It's a retrospective and all the other stuff, because people are not buying new music from legacy acts anymore. The only one who's able to get away with it is Ariana Grande, because she's still on that cusp and she doesn't really have to promote her music. Her fans do it for her. So, and she's taking risks with her music, unlike Justin Timberlake, who decided to go back to what he did before, pre Man of the Woods, and played it safe. And then when he comes back and plays it safe, he played it too safe, because them songs is mid. The production, it has its moments, but overall, it's just not a good record. And the funny part was, he just brought out NSYNC the other day at his concert in LA, because he's still promoting the record, and that felt like something more of like, oh, I'm trying to prop y'all out. He just trots them out like they're his backup, like Gladys Knight and the Pips, like they your backup singers. Like that's what it always feels like when it comes to him. And he will bring them out because I feel like it's image rehab. Like he don't care about NSYNC. He always felt like NSYNC was an afterthought. He was too good for that damn group. Like I feel like that's what he always felt when it comes to them. And like fools, they all are just so happy to be on a stage with a microphone singing, that they'll just come out and they'll do their little ditty, their little 1-2 step in their song, and then they leave. I wouldn't put up with it until y'all. Well, I wonder what the ticket sales for his new tour is going to be like, because I know he's supposed to be doing 2 nights at MSG too, and like Jennifer Lopez supposed to be doing 2 nights at MSG. So I am curious as to like how well his tickets are selling. I already know the album is not doing well in the streaming department. I heard it was 6 million. Now you know 6 million is not good um if you're like with the Spotify and all that other stuff. Your numbers need to do a little bit better than that. So I feel like at this point, if this album doesn't do what needs to be done, I can guarantee you Justin Timberlake will be considering doing an NSYNC tour because quiet as it's kept, I think at this point in his career, he needs them just as much as they need him. And he felt like his fourth decade of being on this earth, he didn't really need them because he got away with what he got away with over the years, with the Janet stuff, the Britney stuff, the misogynoir stuff, the I don't have to apologize to absolutely any fuck about you gonna have to because when you see that this album's gonna flop and that tour, he'll go out and he'll tour and he'll do his big hits or whatever and slip in a couple of the new tracks, which will probably be the parts where everybody just sit their ass down and don't care unless you're a hardcore JT fan. Then I just don't see I could definitely see him considering an NSYNC tour. And I think that they need to do one. They need to do an NSYNC tour and really I would even go as far as say release an NSYNC album. But the question is, are the NSYNC fans, which would be my generation, care enough about an NSYNC album? And would they support it? I'd give it a gander on, you know, Apple Music, because I am an Apple Music subscriber. But it would be cool to see the guys on stage. Look, the Backstreet Boys, even though some of them have tried to go solo, they still together. They still out here doing their tours or whatever. New Kids on the Block, I just heard, got a new album coming out this year. I mean, I'm quite shocked. I mean, we'll see how well that does. But they have their niche audience, and they do what they do over there. So a lot of the boy bands are still together. I don't know why people look at boy bands or girl groups or whatever like it's a bad thing, but like I said, we'll keep an eye on this whole situation. I'm looking forward to seeing like what this whole setup, the costumes, the stage, everything. I know J-Lo is in rehearsals, for this upcoming tour. We'll see what happens. She's not explaining it. And I feel like by you not explaining it, that goes to show you don't give a fuck about your fans because if you did, y'all would explain like whatever. But this probably is a bruise to her ego. She has a lot of yes people around her, and this is going to be the reality. I mean, I would be embarrassed having to perform in front of half empty theaters. Another thing that got on my damn nerves when I saw this article circulating, especially on the black blogs, why the first thing out y'all damn mouths is always Nicki damn Minaj? Can y'all just let Nicki and her big booty or whatever? And first of all, let me give a shout out to Nicki. Nicki looked good. I seen a recent video of her where I don't know what it was. She was performing somewhere, and she had on like this body cast or whatever, and then they pulled it off and they show how snatched her body is. She looked good, so I got to give that to her. And she's out here doing what she's doing. And look, she's trying to give her audience a show after y'all been dragging her over the years about her horrible dancing and all that other stuff. She's been working to give y'all a good show. So kudos to her. But it just irritates me how a lot of people are so quick to always bring up, but if that's it, y'all said Nicki Minaj is gonna be performing at half theaters, and then it's like, why y'all gotta bring her up? This ain't even about her. Just be happy that she out y'all, you being a fan or whatever, or a stan, that she's doing that she has a successful tour, that people are actually spending money to go out and go see her. Instead of bringing her up in the conversation. The conversation be about J-Lo, leave it to her. They brought up her and Chris Brown. I'm like, what the fuck you bringing up Chris Brown for? Like y'all act like people just out here bullying and picking on Chris Brown. He brought this shit upon himself, and a lot of reasons of why people treat him the way they treat him. I can understand if you were trying to rehabilitate your image, but he's never really. He would go and just when we start feeling for him, he'd go back and do the same old BS all over again. But anyway, let me read these comments because I see we got a couple up in here. It said weak. Uh-huh. She would have been better co-headlining with somebody. Ain't nobody flocking to see her. It's when Ashanti out here about to have a baby allegedly with Nelly. She can't be on tour go singing for you. I do agree with that. And you want to know something? You bringing that up, that kind of makes me wonder. Were you saying that she would have been better co-headlining with somebody? Which sidebar she did in the past. Didn't she co-headline with her ex-husband Mark Anthony? And I think it was Enrique Iglesias. Whatever. Look, even Ricky Martin is smart enough to know, like, even though Ricky Martin does do well in his own right, he went on tour. It was him, Pitbull, and Enrique Iglesias. They wound up doing a triple trifecta tour together. And That's more money for them because you got the Enrique fans, you got the Pitbull fans, you got the Ricky Martin fans, and you can go see a show. Why not co-headline? But it's because J-Lo has an ego. She thinks she's Madonna. She thinks she can cap. She thinks she can ask for the amount of money for this little traveling circus she got going on. But her team should have been honest with her and been like, maybe we should reconsider doing a residency or a a smaller venue type tour. That's what she should have did. But when you got a big ass ego and you don't want to hear nothing, you think your shit don't stink. Sometimes you gotta learn the hard way. But like I said, definitely read that article if y'all haven't, because with about Jennifer Lopez and some of the other aging pop stars and all that other stuff that's going on. All right, so let's move on and talk about this upcoming American Idol situation. Well, American Idol, I believe, is currently showing their season. I haven't watched American Idol in eons. So, but I did. I remember we talked about on the show the issue regarding um Katy Perry making the announcement on Jimmy Kimmel that she was leaving the show after how many years she done did it, and she's like, "I'm ready to go back on the road. I'm ready to perform." Remember, she had the residency. I believe when she was at AI for the past couple of seasons, she was making 25 mil a season, which is crazy coin to be doing. But she's ready to get back to performing. Now, I heard rumors that her next album is going to be a dance record. So she didn't, I think she alluded to or made the announcement somewhere. She didn't really say it. She was, "Oh, I'm ready to dance and all this other stuff." So I believe her next album's gonna be a dance record. Well, I mean, quiet as it's kept, it needs to, because she needs to evolve with her sound and what she's doing. But anyway, so there's rumors swirling about quite a few people that are going to be a possible replacement for her, and one of the names that's been floating around is Miley Cyrus. But apparently, they're saying that some of the bosses over at AI fear that Miley is not the family-friendly replacement for Katy after she announced she was leaving AI on Jimmy Kimmel's show. So, according to Radar Online, they said that while sources shared that ABC is eyeing several superstars for next season, Radar Online hears that Miley Cyrus is the frontrunner. However, some network bosses are worried she might not be family friendly enough for the reality competition show. They said the flower singer's reputation as a wild child might ruin her chances to star alongside Perry's co stars, Lionel Richie, Luke Bryan, and longtime host Ryan Seacrest. And they said they are looking at several options on how to replace Katy. This is what an insider told The Sun. While Molly's name is in the race, some decision makers aren't sure she's the right fit, especially when there are other talented and safe choices. I don't like that. And here's the thing: when they said safe choices, I was literally about to, because this is the first time I'm looking at the article. I was literally about to recommend a name, and they said the name in there. I was like, well, why not Shania Twain? First of all, Shania Twain is a country superstar. People like her. They over there at what's the other show? The Voice. They got Reba McEntire. So I'm like, why not Shania Twain? They also have Jennifer Lopez's name floating around. Now here's the thing: Jennifer Lopez already did American Idol. Why would she want to go back? Because there was a point, if I'm not mistaken, that she went on American Idol, did a couple of seasons, quit, and then I guess after a brief period they brought her back or something or another. But I do like the idea of Shania Twain. And they said that she worked on the show before. I don't remember Shania Twain being on American Idol. Am I mistaken? Or are they mistaken? Um I actually don't mind Miley. And one of the things I think they need on that show is somebody who is outspoken. I feel like the problem with a lot of network television is that y'all play it too safe. A lot of y'all have become boring, and that's why I'm against that other show later on. When we talk about the talk. A lot of y'all play it like the industry plays it too safe. That's why I love doing a show on the internet, because it's like you can really say it like you mean it with respect. Unlike some people, y'all just be out here like being just nasty with your mouths and y'all opinion. I mean, it's my opinion, yeah, but your opinion is invalid based off of the way you putting things. There's ways that you can say things without coming across like a dick, but for the most part, I feel like internet is a better space because, we're creating, a lot of us are self-made, a lot of us are creative, a lot of us have real opinions that we can stand outside that bubble of Hollywood and really tell y'all some of the tea, especially in the spaces I've been in throughout this, all these years and stuff that I've been in and out of the industry. Industry. So I don't mind Miley. I would actually like her to be a part of American Idol. I hope they consider putting her on there because I feel like there needs to be a new jolt of energy where she can bounce off of Luke Bryant and she can bounce off of Lionel Richie. I just feel like maybe Shania Twain sounds, I mean, even though I like her music and she is like that country queen, and that's basically, in my opinion, the demographic that American Idol caters to now. I feel like they cater more to, the Midwest and the South and that sort of thing. I don't know many people, I mean, up in the northern areas like New York and Chicago and Philly, and stuff, unless you're more on the conservative side and you're older, like maybe my mother or my grandparents, that sort of thing. They would be watching American Idol. Older people, I think, watch American Idol. I don't know many kids that watch American Idol, unless you're a music nut and you're inspiring to get on the show, or you skewer older. So I don't know many people who really watch American Idol. I used to watch it back in the day. I told you I stopped watching after y'all didn't give Adam Lambert his flowers. Y'all picked Chris damn Allen over him. So once they did that, I was like, I'm out. But for the most part, it's like, and it would be cool to have somebody who's LGBTQ friendly on the show. But I don't know. So let me know what y'all think about this whole thing. Let me see. So it said the Roar singer will face off with his family over oh, they're talking about Perry has her hands tied up in a legal battle with an 84-year-old veteran. The Roar singer will face off with his family over the 2.6 million she claimed he owes her after fighting over the 15 million mansion she brought for him. So, Cal, it's a mess. And they trying to say the word on the street is she wanted a raise. I'm like, what? A raise? Bitch, you get paid $25 million to sit your ass in a chair and attempt to judge pops and either move artists forward or crush their damn dreams. So I don't know how you sit up in here and talk about you want more than 25 million. Sis, that's enough. Like you could probably use like maybe a million or two for the wardrobe alone. Makeup ain't that a damn expensive ass RuPaul or a drag queen. Get one of them to beat your face. Like, I don't know, girl, you doing too much. Uh, 25 million is way too much anyway for anybody to be making in one season, regardless of who it is. So I'm not just saying her. That's a lot of money just to be doing a dated singing competition that I don't even know many people buy. First of all, how's she getting paid more than the damn ratings that come in on American Idol? Because I don't think 25 million people watch American Idol. 25 million people ain't watched American Idol since Simon Paula and Randy left. So it is what it is, Chad. Let's see. Felix says at least they're gonna get another singer. I'll never understand why they had. I said the same damn thing. First of all, American Idol has had many misses, and it's not just Nicki Minaj. First of all, I don't never understand how you have a singing competition series and you put a rapper on here. That never made sense to me. Like I can understand if you had Nicki Minaj on that rapper show that's coming back on Netflix, which they got Lotto for. She's replacing Cardi B. I can understand if you had her on a like judging a rap show. That I would be here for because Nikki is somebody who is kind of like after Little Kim, the the biggest artist to come as a female rapper in the genre. So I can understand that. Another thing I didn't understand either, when they had Ellen on there, I'm like, why the hell do y'all have a comedian judging a singing competition? Because she was so popular at the time. But I'm like, what does this got to do with fucking singing? It'd have been fun if they would have put her on So You Think You Could Dance as a judge because she do that little stupid dance that she did every episode on her show. But I'm like, what she know about dancing? She been doing like, them little things that be I forget what they're called when they stick them outside the car dealerships and they be just waving and stuff. Like that's what she be giving me when she dance. But that quiet is good. That's how a lot of white people dance. But that's a whole nother conversation. Plus having Miley on, yeah, I was thinking that too, is that it might attract younger viewers. A lot of people like Miley. I like Miley. I think I like her music. I like her tenacity. I like her energy. I like how her personality. She's pretty much a live wire. She's energetic. I think she would be really cool to be on that show. So if y'all weren't about conservator, sorry, but conservativeness doesn't bring the ratings. It doesn't make money. It's just y'all just trying to play it safe and boring. And I'm sick of this industry where y'all always want to play it safe and boring. It's like I would really like for them to give Mariah another shot because I didn't understand why they brought Mariah on and they decided to bring Nikki on, and the show became more about them beefing than actually helping the artists out. So if you brought on somebody relatively interesting, I would take a gander and I would watch. But for the most part, I'm really hoping that they go with her. Because who else would they? I really hope they go with Miley. Because who else would they pick? Camilla Cabori? No, she ain't that interesting. I can't see none of these up and coming. I mean, I would say Ariana Grande. No, she's too busy. First of all, Ariana Grande, didn't she do The Voice at one point? But I don't necessarily know what her personality is over there. I mean, how she did well. I mean, over there, or whatever. So I don't know. I don't know if she'd be a good candidate. I don't know. There's not that many. There's not a lot of singers out here with interesting personalities that I can see on there. I would feel like why not? I mean, if in this case, if y'all can't figure it out, if you because y'all weren't a big name, why don't y'all just pick a veteran from American Idol, someone who was on the show in the past? I would have said Jennifer Hudson or Fantasia, or I would even say Adam Lambert, but Adam, that is three guys on there, and they want to kind of have it as two guys and a girl. I was thinking of that song, Two Guys for Every Girl song for that Peaches did. Um, the artist from back in the day. But anyway, all right, so let's move on and talk about before we get to all the these other topics. Let's talk about Vin Diesel and this whole situation. So apparently, he's upset because the producers won't give him $250 million for Fast 11, and this is according to Radar Online. It says that Fast 11, as I pointed out to y'all, is the final film in the franchise, and they're saying that the days of bloated budget blockbusters for Diesel, who is 56, are over, especially since 2013's Fast X barely turned a profit. Universal execs are begging for Vin to figure out how to make this movie substantially cheaper. But why do he got to figure it out? I mean, I understand he's a producer on the film in one race, his production company produces it along with Universal and that sort of thing. But no, I'd just be like, okay, well, yeah, I wouldn't give him no $250 million budget, quiet as it's kept. And they said turning down the production level for the final Fast movie is allegedly a challenge for the 56-year-old star who has now taken his plight to social media. Insiders allege Diesel wants to make the biggest Fast movie ever, and he's taking his case to the fans with his social media updates, saying it's a clever strategy, but he's alienating the executives who made him rich. This is what one of the sources noted. Universal reportedly wants him to ditch pricey guest stars, including Jason Statham and John Cena. Well, if you saw Fast X, didn't John Cena die? But then again, with these Fast and the Furious movies, nobody ever dies because apparently Gal Gadot was supposed to have been dead like 3 movies ago, and she shows up in Fast X on a damn submarine. So I'm like, nobody dies in these damn movies. Then Letty died. Y'all found her. She had amnesia. Y'all brought her back. She remembered every damn thing towards the third act. But for the most part, it's like nobody dies in these movies. But they can't get rid of Jason Momoa because he was the villain in the last movie, and there was a cliffhanger, so he has to come back. And they're saying that Vin has to prove to the studio that fans will show up in huge numbers to witness the end of the saga. Diesel took the Instagram in late February, as y'all know, and he thanked the fans for the loyalty of the franchise, and he said that he finished the end of the week fast meeting with the writers, and he's so excited and all this other stuff. And it's funny how he probably was like, "Yeah, let's add this in there. Let's add like an atomic bomb comes down on L.A. and blows it up. I don't know what's the next big thing they could use. They use tanks, they use a submarine, they drove cars through 3 different skyscrapers in Dubai, or was it Abu Dhabi? One of them damn places." So they've done all kinds of crazy stunts. I feel like at this point they need to scale it back. It don't need to be some crazy ass stunt unless y'all can find the Mission Impossible team that Tom Cruise uses and come up with some logical, really cool set pieces to do with this movie, because I feel like with Fast and the Furious, y'all been asking me to suspend my disbelief to the point where I ain't got no damn brain cells left. Like, I can't really sit up here and continue to suspend my disbelief over the stupid and ridiculous stunts that y'all put in these damn movies. And to me, it's like, it's not just a $250 million budget. It's the fact of the matter that you were blowing the universal budget on all these big names that you were putting in this movie. And the past movies, plus every time y'all came out with a new Fast and the Furious movie, you were giving extensive amount of payday money to the co-stars, Ludacris, um, Michelle Rodriguez, and all these other people that was in it. And then on top, and Tyrese, who quiet as it kept, he needed damn money because apparently, well, maybe he don't. I don't know, because he's been going through his stuff with his ex-wife wanting, I believe, $10,000 for child support a month. But he told me he ain't got the money, but he got money to buy his on again, off again new girl expensive cars and dogs and things. So the man ain't manthing over there with his finances, unless he robbing Peter to pay Paul. But that's something I would have to look extensively into. But for the most part, I feel like, you know what? I am curious to see how this franchise goes out. I do feel like that maybe they need to focus more on delivering a good story and some cool set pieces, and maybe throw in a couple of action sequences, meaning like more hand to hand combat. That ain't as expensive as, driving cars down a certain area and having like tanks rolling or big giant, balls with a bomb in it down the street, and then you using your car to kind of like navigate it and not kill a bunch of people in Italy. So if y'all can come up with some cool concepts or whatever, you can figure out how to make this movie work. If Chad Stahelski can figure out how to make them John Wick movies where they look so effortlessly and they look amazing on screen for a fraction of the price that you are asking for, it can be done. The fact of the matter is, people like Vin Diesel and that, they want films to be as big as their damn ego and not really think about giving a good story to the fans and really coming up with some cool stuff that's in the movie. Like, ever since, I don't think I've rewatched the Fast movies since the Paul Walker one. After that, when he passed away and everybody came flocking to the movies because they wanted to see how they were going to write out his character, or how they were going to, what justice they were going to give the character, because he died before he could finish the film. So that's the one. I watch. Maybe I watch the first one every now and again. I haven't seen the first one in a while, but Too Fast, Too Furious, horrible. I'm sorry, John Singleton. May you rest in peace. But that movie was not a good one. Tokyo Drift, hell no. So 4, 5, and 6 are kind of like the only three. I think 4, 5, 6, and 7 are the only ones I watch. I didn't particularly care for 8. I think F. Gary Gray directed that one. 9 was god awful, and 10 was worse. So those three, them last three, I don't. So they can figure out how to make this movie on a fraction of the budget. Trust and believe, they have made it work. And people and companies and other studios have made it work, where they can take something and make it look expensive, but with a smaller price. Louis Leterrier better figure it out, and the rest of y'all. So there's that. Okay, so let's move on to this next story, and let's talk about XXX-Men '97 creator Beau DeMayo, who was fired from his upcoming Disney Plus series of X-Men '97. I added the triple X because, apparently the reason why they said that he was given the boot is because he allegedly had an OnlyFans site. But let's get into what Variety says. So it said DeMayo, the showrunner and EP behind Disney Plus's upcoming animated series X-Men '97, has been fired ahead of the March 20th premiere. That's in 3 days. I'm actually looking forward to it. It said DeMayo has completed work on seasons 1 and 2 of X-Men '97 ahead of his exit. He will not attend the March 13th Hollywood premiere. Well, 13 came and went, so he didn't go. I should say that. His IG account, which he had been previewing artwork and answering fan questions about X-Men '97, has also been deleted. He wrote and produced X-Men '97, which is a continuation of the popular X-Men the animated series that aired on Fox Kids in the '90s. And I will say this, it was a show that I watched, that along with the Batman series. I used to love, watch. I was like, that would be my whole situation. I would run home and watch that show. So from school, so it was just like the X-Men '97 series and the Batman series. Those are my shows back in the day. But anyway, so, in case you're not familiar with DeMayo, he has also written episodes of Moon Knight starring Oscar Isaac, and I don't think they're getting another season. And he wrote early drafts on the Blade series with Mahershala Ali. I don't know how much of his fingerprint will still be in the upcoming script, but he did usher in, like, he worked on early drafts and stuff for it. But he also worked on Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Netflix's live action The Witcher with Henry Cavill, the animated film The Witcher Nightmare of the Wolf, and two animated League of Legends shorts, Absolution and Before Dawn. So he is someone who has worked in the industry and behind the scenes. And um in regards to and then it says that while, I don't know. It seems like, there was a whole lot of stuff that was coming out. So it said that, apparently that was the story that came out. Then I saw a lot of other articles that were popping up and people saying that he may have had an OnlyFans page, which wasn't showing explicit content. Now, I will tell you this. I have seen some pictures of Beau DeMayo fully naked, penis erect and everything. So pictures are out there with him, butt ass naked. Shout out to the people that sent me the photos or the person. I was like, I ain't posting up on here. But I was like, ooh, so they do exist. If you got a picture, send it. And you know what? Ask and I shall receive. And I've seen the photo. He's got a great body. He's a good looking man. Yeah, the penis is not penising, but I'm not someone who's a size queen, and I'm not always about like, okay, you gotta have a large appendage. Like, that's why I like people like what's his name? Fitness, probably the porn star. He's tall, muscular, ginormous, very good looking, and people always try to clown him on that he has an average penis. But let me tell you, it ain't the size of the boat, it's the motion of the ocean. If you know how to work that middle, it don't matter the size. Like, there's a lot, because quiet as it's kept, there be a lot of people out here that got mandingo dingalings, and the shit don't get hard. You don't know how to use it, and a lot of you girls be in pain more than anything. So Montemayor was a good looking guy. I will say that, because I've seen, I was following him on Instagram. First of all, I didn't even put the name with the picture and stuff. And so, because I would scroll on Instagram and I would see his photos and all this other stuff. And I haven't really been, because of, I get a lot of stuff on IG, and I don't really be on IG like that, even though maybe I should. I don't know. I just don't be feeling Instagram like I used to. But word on the street is that there might be deeper than the OnlyFans. Because there have been rumors that he has a history of being verbally abusive to some of his previous coworkers and has had anger issues. They say, in addition to the OnlyFans, well, I say, sorry, in addition to the OnlyFans, rumors have been swirling that he's been allegedly moonlighting as an escort. Once he was hired to write and showrun the new X-Men animated series, he attempted to clean up his image. Now, there were also rumors that Beau is a colorist and Sunspot, a popular Afro-Brazilian mutant, was about to be whitewashed. So, hold on. Let me show that, because I did see that there was a tweet about that, and I want to pull that up. So it says, Beau, do you know Afro-Brazilian folk exists? And it said, I shouldn't have to wait and see if Sunspot is going to be Black Beau. He's a Black character. Then Beau DeMayo says, so now you're erasing but somebody, did he write that? Because it says, so now you're erasing his Brazilian heritage. Oh, okay. So he did say that. So now you're erasing his Brazilian heritage in favor of him being just Black. How does this work? And I'm sorry, I will push back against anyone who thinks I should jump at any accusation they decide to throw and explain myself. That is the essence of toxic fandom, seizing a leak and then running 10,000 miles with it while acting entitled to information that wasn't supposed to be released to begin with. So it's like, if we don't know necessarily what the accusations and stuff are, I feel like whatever happened to the days where we actually would, just putting this whole situation aside, we'll come back to Beau and all this other stuff in a second. But when it comes to these shows, can we wait and see what they do with certain characters before we get on social media and start bitching and moaning? I just feel like a lot of times people just want to, be outraged or want to be pissed off over certain things without actually taking the time to really, wait until a show comes out. That's why I don't really respond about, or when I do respond, because, me and media, when it comes to like the first photo of, what was it? The Crow. I saw the photo. I was like, I don't know if how I'm feeling about the crow thing with Bill Skarsgård as the Crow, because I'm always thinking about the Brandon Lee film, and that's like one of my all-time favorite cult films. Is one of many, which is the one that Brandon Lee did, and unfortunately got killed on the set. Whatever, whatever, whatever. But and then I saw the trailer to it, and when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, it looks like your typical standard action film. I do like the fact that they've decided to take a risk and then go in a completely different direction with the Crow, but it's not necessarily trying to be like what we've already seen. And isn't that the whole point of when you do remakes or whatever, you want to see something different? Like, I'll check it out when it comes out. I'm not going to sit and say I'm not going to see it, but sometimes you want to just wait and see things. That's the point of what I'm trying to get to is sometimes you should just wait and see things before we're so quick to react. Everybody just wants to have a little moment and react to shit without just giving it a chance. That's why I was like, when what was it? I think it was the animated, the new Castlevania series that came out. I think it was on Netflix, and they had those, you know, Afro Latina characters that was on it, and I just love seeing the fact that we had, characters of color that they really took the time and invested to give a great story, a great background, and everything too. So maybe we'll wait and see what we get with that instead of people being so quick to call him a colorist. I think it was another one that came out too, and it said he was also an abuser and hates queer people. How do you hate queer people when you gay? But then also, let's be clear, a lot of times, we do have people in our industry who are self-hate, self-hate their own kind, or have that self-hatred, I should say. So it says, if I were unceremoniously fired from a job for being both emotionally and physically abusive, I'd probably focus on getting help instead of constantly bringing up my involvement with said job. Then it said, this one, oh, oh, it's still there. I was like, I thought I messed it up. And then it said, for no reason at all, I'm thinking of the time a gay writer once told me that bisexuality is a trope. And also another time he said that bottoms are disease receptacles. He attends a lot of circa parties, apparently, and he'd also go out of his way to kill queer characters. And this is why, if this stuff is true, I don't like someone who is LGBTQ working on things within our community. And that's another thing too that irritates me about our community also, is the fact that when we get those opportunities to have queer centered characters and put them in things, then you have people allegedly in our community, because I don't know if this is true, but this is like, if this guy's saying this, let's just play devil's advocate and go with it, that I don't like people in these powerful spaces that will sit and try to be a pick me for a certain demographic, meaning heterosexual people, because you are the minority in those spaces. And you're also a person of color, last I checked. I don't know what Beau DeMayo's ethnicity is. I don't know if he's Latino. I don't know if he's half Italian and black. I don't know what his whole mixology is, because I don't know his parents. I don't know who he rolls with. I mean, I don't know what kind of, I need to look up to see what kind of a last name DeMayo is. It might be Latin, but you have a lot of people in our community. I mean, well, in communities of mixed race or Latino communities, whatever, that will sit and try to, oh no, I'm not black, I'm this, and it's like, y'all do know when that slave ship left Africa, it was dropping a lot of y'all coloreds off in different areas. So there are Afro parts of Afro Caribbeans, Afro Latinos. They exist in a lot of places: Dominican Republic, Brazil, Cuba, Colombia. Trust and believe, there's a lot of, a lot of these places, a lot of places, North and South America, a lot of Latinos of Afro descent exist in these spaces. So if y'all are trying to deny that shit, let's not do it. So that's what they saying apparently. And to wrap this whole thing up, so you know what? We don't necessarily know why the thing is, why he's been ostracized, whatever the case is, why he's been fired. I'm sure we wait maybe a week or two, it'll slip out somewhere. Or maybe somebody know the tea, y'all can slide in my DMs and let me know. But it's only a matter of time before the tea gets spilled on why he was fired. And all we have to go on right now regarding this is speculation. So in the meantime, we're just gonna have to speculate. And yeah, just because you good looking on the outside don't mean that you not ugly and rotted on the inside. So It's unfortunate that Beau DeMayo is having, going through this or whatever. But if you out here acting like, you the behind the scenes writer version of Jonathan Majors, then yeah, you need to be held accountable for the shit that you do. Okay, so that's all I gotta say on that. But if anybody got anything to offer with the whole Beau DeMayo situation, definitely let me know down below. Um, Roro says, good point about fans jumping the gun. People weren't feeling Ryan Gosling as Ken when the picks dropped. And yeah, he's Oscar nominated. He's a phenomenal actor. They do that all the time. They even said that about um, what's his name, Robert Pattinson. Oh, they didn't like him as Batman when they first saw the thing until the movie came out. Now people love him. Same thing with Ben Affleck. Nobody. It's like, are y'all ever satisfied? Can y'all just waiting to see things? I mean, question. I mean, quiet is. I don't think. And speaking about The Crow, I don't know if The Crow is going to be a good movie, but I'll definitely. I mean, I did see elements of Sandman, the Netflix series, like with the visuals. I did like the visual direction they would take with certain things where it looked like a dreamscape type of situation where it looked like we were in a dream world and the floating and being in the water and all. So there were cool moments that I saw visually that I liked. But for the most part, I'm just gonna wait and see, and then I'll give my opinion when it comes out. I like to wait until I see a full situation before I'm quick to be like, "Oh, that's gonna be trash." There's a Ryan Solar show that and John Cena were the most. Oh yeah, and people are still mad about the whole John Cena thing because they feel like, well, how come he could be naked on stage, but women, whenever a woman does it, it's a problem. Or you had people on blackball. I was like, okay, Negroes, stay out of the mainstream movie business and stuff. If y'all don't understand what this is, stay over there and continue to support bullshit. That y'all be supporting because there was some people that came out and said some dumbness about that this is some that he was acting in some sort of humiliation ritual. And I'm like, huh? Y'all just be pulling shit out y'all ass. Y'all do everything but wipe y'all ass. Quiet as it's kept. Some of you heterosexual men out there, y'all don't wipe your ass properly, but y'all be pulling mad stuff out y'all behind just to try to make sense of something that sounds stupid. Because I'm like, humiliation ritual? It's called a comedy bit. And here's the thing: people don't really need to do any kind of humiliation ritual on TV to get success or whatever the case is. There's no such thing as a goddamn, they always want to pull up Illuminati. You always want to pull up humiliation. I'm like, what are y'all talking about? Sometimes I think y'all want to be a part of that shit so damn bad because y'all just be pulling things out y'all behind that makes no logical sense. Because that's not what that was. It was a comedy bit and it was paying homage to something that happened on the Oscars before some of y'all idiots were even born. But anyway, okay, so we got an update on this whole Shangela case. I don't know why I didn't put it down below in the thing, but and I'll add it. What I'll do is I'll add it later on. I'll add it in the description also if y'all have not seen the episode that I did with Daniel McGarrigle, who accused Shangela of sexual assault. But I'm gonna link it down below. I forgot I didn't think to do it, but I did link it on my website when I talked about it. So it looks like she's been vindicated. So congratulations to Shangela because the lawsuit against Darius DJ Pierce, better known to millions as Shangela LaQuifa Wadley, has been dismissed by the courts. Now, on Wednesday, former Drag Race production assistant Daniel McGarrigle permanently dropped his lawsuit against the drag star that was seeking unspecified damages for alleged sexual assault, sexual harassment, gender violence, false imprisonment, and negligence. McGarrigle previously alleged Pierce had, you know, assaulted him while they both appeared on HBO's We're Here in 2020. The suit was dismissed with prejudice according to documents obtained by People, which means the lawsuit cannot be refiled. People has reached out to Pierce's rep for comment. The drag performer previously announced or denounced the allegations in May 2023, saying that in an exclusive statement to People, I can't begin to explain how hurt and disgusted I am by these totally untrue allegations. They are personally offensive and perpetuate damaging stereotypes that are harmful not only to me, but also to my entire community. An external investigation into this embittered individual's claims previously concluded that they were completely without merit. This newest filing is nothing but an attempt to shake down both me and a well regarded television company. No one should be fooled. It has no basis in fact or in law, and it will not succeed. Now, a spokesperson for the series also confirmed to people that a complaint was filed after filming We're Here, but an internal investigation found no proof of the alleged altercation. Buckingham Television, the production company behind We're Here, received the complaint in late summer 2021 regarding the incident that was alleged to have occurred in early 2000. And I remember when I interviewed him and I asked about that, it was like, well, why did it take so long? He said he did mention it and he went to HR and all this other stuff. And, you know, and then he also said that he took a lot of time to not really go for it because he had a lot of people that, friends and family members who, were their livelihood would have been at stake and he didn't want to rock the boat. So he just kept quiet. And it said that Buckingham and HBO take the safety and well-being of personnel to our shows very seriously, and Buckingham immediately launched an investigation. The investigation concluded that there was insufficient evidence to support these allegations. And here's the thing now, if you or someone you know has been SA'd, please contact the National Sexual Assault Hotline at 800-656-HOPE or go to rain.org. The funny thing is, I need to actually add this to my situation. I need to start adding that to my show because I be feeling like, if there's somebody that's in the show that wants to, okay, so let's see. So yeah, we'll put that there and we'll turn it in. I'm like, can I turn that into a banner? I'll have to figure that out. So yeah, I'll leave that up so that way if y'all want to, if you want to get the number and stuff for a second, and all that good stuff, and then we'll go back to the whole Shangela. So, but anyway, what I want to say on this is, you know what? I was waiting a long time to find out what the whole resolution of this was, and I was figuring out what was going on because I remember when I interviewed Daniel and I asked him, like, "Have you heard anything? Has anybody gotten in contact with you?" I know he had the lawyer, and I was like, "What's going on?" And I wasn't hearing anything. He was like, "I have no idea what's going on. They're still investigating and that sort of thing." But they're saying that you know what he dropped the lawsuit or whatever. So I'm wondering, was there some sort of settlement? Like, I want to know, like, if it was dropped without, or what they say, with prejudice or whatever the case is, and he can't refile and that sort of thing. So I am curious. Is like, okay, so does that mean that Shangela, gave him like paid him an undisclosed amount, and he um can't speak on it and that sort of thing, and he can't bring it up or whatever the case is? That I am curious about. But if and if Chandler did do it, and there was some behind the scenes shenanigans where it's like a David and Goliath situation where he was overpowered because he's a smaller, fish in the pond, and Chandler is a bigger name and well known within certain circles, and she has a lot of people that protect her and got her back. That's what the situation is, then shame on her. But if this was done in a legal way where he's like, you know what, I'm just tired, I'm ready to move on, and that sort of thing, then it's like, okay, we'll just put the damn thing to bed. Chandler gets to live another day and be successful doing what she does, and we've all moved on. But now, at this case, because this is out there, she's got to be really careful in the circles that she plays in and who she hangs around with and that sort of thing. Because I have heard stories about how when Chandler gets a couple of drinks about her, she gets a little handsy. And I can understand if some people don't want to be touched and you abide by that. But if some of y'all be out here, because I will say that even though we're supposed to believe all people who've been SA'd, um, sometimes y'all be out here trying to get a payday. So there's all sides of that. So I always try to look at each case differently. I don't like to lump things under one umbrella, like a lot of politicians and stuff tries to do when it comes to sexual assault or abortion rights or things that have to do with anything in politics that have to do with, sexuality, gender, or, things that help with women's reproductive rights. So I try to always be cognizant of that and not try to paint everything with one, under one situation because everybody's situation isn't different. So it's like, I'm sorry to hear this, Daniel. I hope you're off doing whatever it is that you need to do, that you didn't win the case. And, that's all I gotta say on that. It's like I have nothing else to give to this. So that's the end of the case. That's all we know. this is what they said, and it is what it is. But if y'all have any thoughts on this whole thing, let me know down in the comments, and maybe that'll help. It said, have you asked the accuser if he's settled? Ooh, back then when I first interviewed him, no, it was still like an ongoing case and nobody knew any. He didn't know what was going on. She didn't know, there was just like literally nothing. Like I'm asking him, like, okay, so have you heard anything? Because that was like, I believe the last question I asked in the interview. And it was like, have you heard anything? Can you tell us something? It was like, he said, I don't know because his lawyer hasn't gotten in contact with him and he hasn't heard anything from them. It's just an ongoing investigation. This was last year when I spoke with him. And then I did allude and I said that, well, if you hear anything, then I could have you back on and we'll discuss it. So, Daniel is somebody who follows this channel because he's popped in here before when I was doing a live stream, and we do follow each other on Instagram. So I'll just message him and TikTok. So I'll message him and be like, okay, so what's the tea? And if I find out what that is, um, I'll let you guys know because this is weird. Because especially with the whole Christian Keys thing, I'm thinking that Christian Keys was quietly paid off by Tyler Perry and a couple of others because he was gonna spill some stuff, he know where them bodies is buried. But child, these days it's like a lot of people know where them bodies is buried, especially when it comes to Diddy situation and other stuff. And you got to make sure that you got all your ducks in a row and hit them out of left field because God forbid anything happens to that person, you know, then you know that they were, somebody didn't took their life, that it wasn't a suicidal thing, that it was something. It's just you using your power and your money and your influence to silence people. So yeah, I'll definitely keep guys updated on that. But I feel like at this point, it's probably nothing really to update. But if I hear anything from Daniel, I'll just say that I'll let you guys know. Okay, so let's move on and talk about Drake Bell, who was going in on some of the former members of Boy Meets World over them, what was it, that they were taking up for the person that sexually assaulted him, since we're in this whole sexual assault conversation. So Drake Bell is putting Will Friedle and Ryder Strong on blast for their prior defense of sex offender Brian Peck, slamming them for what he calls is a lack of an apology. Now, Bell, who was said to break his silence on the abuse he allegedly experienced at the hands of Peck in a new docuseries, took the IG on Thursday in response to a series of fans commenting on support of the Boy Meets World co-stars, saying they were victims too. This is what one fan wrote under Nickelodeon alum Alexa Nicholas's post, criticizing Friedle, Strong, and Danielle Fishel's recent podcast episode in which the two men allege they have been groomed by Peck, seemingly using that as an excuse as to why they backed him in court. The fan added, I listened to the entire podcast and they were manipulated by him just like anyone else. They feel awful and they were minors. This isn't black and white. Well, according to Bell, he was feeling like she was manipulated by listening to that damn podcast because I didn't notice Drake Bell is 37 years old. And he wrote in response, Will was 27 years old and Brian told him what he did. Many people turned away and said, no, I won't write a letter, but they did. Will was not manipulated. He added in a separate comment that Strong was 24 years old when he wrote the letter and was told by Brian what he did, reiterating that, like Friedle, the former child star wrote the letter anyway. Bell also claimed that Friedle had yet to personally apologize to him despite having an opportunity to do so, saying he worked with me on many episodes of Ultimate Spider-Man years later and never said a word to me about it, the All That actor claimed. Because a lot of people don't realize that Will Friedle, he's not doing sitcoms and things more. Like after Boy Meets World Wrapped, he became more or less a voiceover actor, and he does a lot of animated, films and shows. So he does a lot of voiceover work for that behind the scenes. And so it said that Bell then accused Friedle, who's 47, and Strong, 44, of speaking about their role in Peck's case with a regretful tone on their February 19th Pod Meets World episode and for an ulterior motive. The iCarly alum said he believed the letters were talked about because they will be discussed on on the ID channels, Quiet on the Set, The Dark Side of Kids TV, which premieres this weekend. See, it's because I was trying to not say Investigation Discovery because I hate this like ID channel, child. Just say that. We weren't told the whole story, but it doesn't change the fact that we did it. Friedle previously said on the podcast, I still can't get the words out to describe all of the things that I'm feeling inside of myself. Bell concluded in his IG statement, everyone everyone thought the letters will be sealed forever and no one would ever see them. This is their publicist telling them how to get ahead of the story. Page Six reached out to arrest both Friedle and Strong, but did not immediately hear back. And I should say that Peck allegedly abused Bell when he was 15 years old. And it said that he met the acting coach on the Amanda show, and Peck began molesting him when he slept over his house, saying, I woke up to him, I opened my eyes, I woke up and he was S-ing me. And he said that this is when he spoke about it publicly for the first time. He says, I froze and was complete shock. I had no idea what to do or how to react. I have no idea how to get out of this situation. He went on to describe how the alleged abuse continued and got worse over time, noting I was just trapped. I had no way out. And it said that after Peck allegedly tried to get apart on the show Drake and Josh, Bell says he finally told his mom what occurred and a police investigation was launched. Peck was arrested in 2003 on 11 charges, including sodomy, a lewd act against a child, and oral copulation of a person under 16, and oral copulation by anesthesia or controlled substance. He was convicted a year later for only 2 of the charges, and the rest were dismissed after 41 letters speaking favorably about him, including those by Friedle and Strong, were sent to the judge. So yeah, I would be pissed off at them too, and putting them out there. And they said he was sentenced to 16 months in jail. Reportedly went back to work on the kids show, like The Sweet Life of Zach and Cody, after he was released. Now, first of all, ain't no good gonna come to Nickelodeon. First of all, y'all a piece of shit for that. Y'all knew that. Y'all had Chester the Molester working with y'all. And like many people back in those days, y'all looked the other way because of, power, influence, how many people they know, and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, it's not my child they touching, so I don't give a damn. So now you got people out here who are just permanently damaged over this stuff. And it makes perfect sense why Drake Bell was going through his situations when, if y'all read read the articles and stuff in the past, y'all know that, Drake Bell has gotten in trouble and stuff with the law over certain things. I think he was neglect of his child or something or another. So it makes perfect sense as to why, it explains the behavior because he was sexually abused. And I wonder how many others have been, tainted by the situation. I think the first episode of this docu-series is tonight. Oh yeah, it is. It says Sunday and Monday at 9 p.m. on Investigation Discovery. So it starts tonight and tomorrow. I'll definitely be checking this out. And I do agree that if you were friends with this guy and you knew, my question is this, did he do anything to Ryder Strong? Did he do anything to Will Friedle? Or maybe y'all were aged out. Y'all were too old for him to want to diddle and daddle with y'all booty holes and things. So he went after these younger kids because it's like, yeah, there is like what almost like between Drake Bell and Will Friedle, there's a 10-year age difference because I think what was it? Drake is 37 and Will is 47. But still, the fact of the matter is, if y'all doing this whole thing as a stunt where it was just like you using your what was I say? Oh, if your publicist was like, oh, you know what, y'all need to get ahead of this because all this stuff is going to come out. I'm finding out these things that this is going to be in the episodes, and y'all want to get ahead of this because if y'all do this podcast or whatever, and then y'all start speaking on it, and you don't get ahead of this whole situation, then y'all are going to come out here looking like the bad guy. So you need to kind of get ahead of the situation and come out looking good. Where you got these fans that's going on social media saying, oh, they were groomed. First of all, can you groom somebody in their 20s? Can you groom a 27-year-old man? Can you groom a 24-year-old man? I don't think you can groom somebody who's in their 20s. And I feel like that word is being thrown around too much, the word grooming and groom, because it's like groom is just like you or and so like I look at grooming as like, okay, you from a child, you are taught that this is what you're planting the seeds and watching the flower grow as in the human being. So you're planting these little things inside of them and teaching them and all this other stuff. So that's what I look at. You're grooming a child to be an adult, a responsible human being to go out in the world and realize all these different things that you got to teach them about based off of your experience in life. Or it could also be manipulation where you got people in these freaking cults and you can manipulate them into believing certain things. So I believe that Will and Ryder might have been manipulated in a lot of ways, but if Drake is saying that they weren't manipulated, that they were aware of the assaults and stuff that was going on, but they chose to just look the other way and try to vouch for their friend because maybe it was going to continue to get them if they decided, he may have promised them some stuff, quid pro quo. Don't necessarily mean it got to be sexual. It could have been that, okay, well, if you do this for me, then I'll introduce you to so and so and get you these gigs over here, in the animated spaces or whatever the case is that you're doing as an actor. Because a lot of times, in this business, a lot of people only care about their jobs and their livelihood. They don't give a fuck about the next one over there. They trying to fight this one over here for the job. So that could have been what they were thinking about too, where their next source of income is coming in, and they want to stay in Tinseltown, so they're gonna just put up with whatever they put up with in order to get that. So I'm definitely gonna check this docu-series out. Since it's gonna be out today, I'll probably catch it tomorrow, whatever. Because if it's on the Investigation Discovery, from what I was told, ID stuff pops up on HBO Max, so they'll probably upload it the next day or whatever, and I'll catch it and all that good stuff. So I'll watch it and let you guys know. All right, so let's move on and talk about the GLAAD Awards. So congratulations. Oh, wait. I think I might have forgot one. What happened to the talk story? I could have sworn I added that. Or maybe I didn't. Yeah, we'll get to that one next. Because I'm like, wait a minute. There was a story in here that I could have sworn I added that. Maybe I glossed over it by accident and didn't add it. But we'll get to, I'll do that after the GLAAD Media Awards, since I'm already on it. So congratulations to all the winners of the GLAAD Awards, which was Bottoms, RuPaul's Drag Race, Ted Lasso, and Renee Rapp. They took home top prizes at the GLAAD Media Awards, which this year celebrates the 35th anniversary of the annual award show. Now, the LA ceremony for the 35th annual GLAAD Media Awards was hosted by Wayne Brady, who came out as pansexual. I wouldn't mind getting up, on that piece of chocolate, by the way. Revealed 16 of the year's 13 categories winners spanning film, TV, music, theater, podcasts, video games, comic books, and journalism. The winners list includes Ted Lasso, Yellowjackets, RuPaul's Drag Race, and Renee Rapp. The night also features special performances from Chloe and Kate Hudson. Now, each year, the winning stories and artists were honored at GLAAD's dual ceremonies. The first was tonight in Beverly Hilton in Beverly Hills. The second will be on May 11th at the Hilton Midtown in New York City. That ceremony will honor TV, print, and online journalism, outstanding film streaming, or TV outstanding reality series, outstanding Broadway productions, and more. Now, in addition to tonight, what I will say is that Oprah received the Vanguard Award, and her speech I thought was very inspiring. I did post it on my page on my chrisabalon.com website, because she opened up about her brother, who her brother Jeffrey Lee. And during the GLAAD speech, I'm gonna say Grammy, Jeff. The GLAAD speech, she talked about how her brother passed away at 29 from AIDS, and said, "Growing up at the time we did in the community that we didn't have the language to understand or speak about sexuality and gender in the way that we do now." She got a little choked up as she confessed. She said, "At the time, I didn't know how deeply my brother internalized the shame he felt about being gay. I wish he would have lived to witness these liberated times and be here with me tonight." So I love the speech that she did. I will say, say what you want about Oprah and those other stuff, but she has been a true ally of the LGBTQ community. I will say this, that she did say that she has been working close with GLAAD. Um, in regards to bringing true, authentic stories or whatever, because she said that she was doing it, she was trying to do that with her talk show. And she said through the Oprah Winfrey Network and her production company Harpo, she says, "I will continue to hire queer and trans filmmakers to bring authentic characters to the screen, like nominees here tonight, Trace Lissette, and our fantastic Hulu series Black Cake." My mother watches that show. She told me that she likes Black Cake. I've never really gotten around to watching it, but I'll definitely check that out. And it says, "And I'm so grateful to be able to work with GLAAD to make sure we get it right along the way, because this is what I know. I know for sure that this is when we can see one another, truly see one another, when we are open to supporting the truth of the fellow human. It makes for full, rich, vibrant life for us all." And here's the thing. While that's cute or whatever, it would have been nice if you would have really put your money where your mouth was by allowing them to really explore the same-sex relationship between Celie and Shug in The Color Purple. But y'all decided to gloss over that. Y'all gloss over that even more so than the original movie did, when y'all had them kissing in the theater and the damn light. goes and blinds, you couldn't even really see it. So you knew that the kiss, they went in for the kiss, but it was like, oh, so y'all gonna use the lights from the theater to kind of like flash in people's eyes so they couldn't really see it, which kind of brought, in my opinion, that was just like it felt like it was a visual shame moment. Like y'all were ashamed to kind of go there, but it's like, there are Black queer people that exist in the world. I don't know if y'all realize this, or maybe the director didn't realize this, but yes, what Black queer people exist. And as a producer, Oprah, I really wish you would have really allowed that to be further explored like it was in the book, but it is what it is. So yeah, congratulations to as I said before, Yellowjackets, Ted Lasso. Travel Travelers actually won for Outstanding Limited or Anthology Series. Outstanding Film, wide release, went to Bottoms. Outstanding Film, Limited Theatrical Release, went to Monica. I think that's the movie with Trace said, which I believe is on one of the streaming services. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I did see that it was trending. I mean, it was up. I think it's on Hulu, so I have to everything checked out. That and All of Us Strangers is on Hulu too, and I need to check that out too. But sometimes I'll be like, "Am I in the mood for some like some not melodramatic, but really dramatic, crazy gay romance, like relationship movie? I don't know if I'm ready to. I gotta get in the mood for certain topics or certain films." So, outstanding reality competition program went to RuPaul's Drag Race. Outstanding music art. I cannot get. I don't know what is the appeal of Renee Rapp, but if y'all like her, I love y'all. I love it. Okay. Outstanding breakthrough music artist went to David Archuleta, who you know from American Idol. And first of all, he's of age, so I can say this. I would definitely do some nasty things to that boy, but he's old enough. I can say it. He grown. But David Archuleta, he got hot. The boy been hitting the gym. He's cute. I need to know what he likes in the bedroom because he just give me like, you a down low freak. And I think that comes from them years of being a Mormon. You know them religious folks, but they be wanting to release all that tension. Oh, they nasty in the bedroom. I've been with a few to know. But I'm not gonna go through the whole GLAAD situation, but I will say this part. Y'all can go on my website and definitely check that out. But they did say that GLAAD previously announced special recognition awards for The Dads, which was on Netflix, Love and Gravity, Relighting Candles on Hulu, Renaissance, a film by Beyonce, AMC Theaters, Tennessee Holler, Yes I Am, the Rick Wyland Story, Drag Latina, Revry, LATV, and there's a bunch of other stuff that was nominated as well. So congratulations to all the winners. And not only that, so I could just wrap this up. Niecy Nash Betts, I should say, because I don't want to leave out the Jessica Betts part of her situation. And I just love her love with Jessica Betts. Like they're just like my favorite LGBTQ couple. And when y'all be running out here saying that the gays always automatically when you Black, y'all run to them white people. Isn't Jessica Black? But I guess when we talk about gay men, but that's definitely a conversation we should get into another time too. That when Black performers get to a certain status, like a Coleman Domingo, a Billy Porter, Karamo, and all these other types, why do y'all always run to white men to like some sort of status or whatever? So that would be a good conversation to kind of bring up on this show too. Because I also saw there was a debate that went on where people was talking about that Coleman Domingo is the type of Black gay celebrity that we want, but we get Billy Porter. I said, we're not going to be anti-femme in this space. It's like, let people be people. Because it's like, oh, well, he's a gay Black man, even though he's also Latino, and y'all seem to leave that part out of Coleman Domingo. So it says, to get to Niecy Nash real quick, she was honored with the Stephen F. Kozak Award at the 35th Annual GLAAD Media Awards. And during her speech, she opened about the people who she was close to in the business, suggesting she should not come out as a card-carrying member of the LGBT community. She also went on to say that she was often asked what it was like for her to come out, to which she responds, "Came out of where, baby? I was never anywhere to come out of. I didn't live a sexually repressed life. I mean, I loved boys until I didn't. I loved them until I encountered the most beautiful soul I ever met." And I kind of wish that people would look at relationships as that. It's like, why do we have to put labels on things when it comes to gender expression or sexual identity and that sort of thing? It's just like, you know what? through life, we as human beings are trying to figure out who we are and what we like and what we're into. And what queer people are doing is that we want to celebrate love. We want to show love. We're not here trying to indoctrinate or take your children, and we're trying to occupy your spaces, or what's the term I want to use? Shove our lifestyles down y'all throats and make us like whatever it is that we like. No, we're not putting a gun to your head and telling you what it is that you should like and want to be a part of and want to incorporate into your situation. What we're saying is that we here, we queer, we want visibility, we want acceptance, we want respect. And whether or not you want to deal with it or you like it, we are who we are, and that's that. You don't have to like what we like. We're not asking you to, but you can respect us as human beings, and that's all we want at the end of the day. So she said that her daughter she had a conversation with her daughter at one point, and her daughter was like, "Well, okay, now that you've come out, you got to pick a term." And she's like, and I'm sitting there like, why do you have to pick a term? And I've always said that is always been a thing where they want you or us as human beings because they want to be able to easily pigeonhole and identify us. Oh, so you say you're gay or you're a lesbian or you're bisexual or you're transgender or you're intersex or you're non-binary or you're, all these different things. And then when people decide, oh, I'm not that today, I'm not non-binary anymore, I'm this or I'm this or I'm this. Well, y'all need to make up your mind. Y'all be flip-flopping. Y'all be doing it. So it's like you can't win for losing. So I love that the fact is that Niecy did say that she thanked everyone for holding space for her until she figures her terms out. And said, what I do know for sure is that my name is Niecy Nash Betts and I'm a lover. I'll never hide the very thing I was created for. So people, y'all don't need to know, y'all don't need to run out there. While I believe that visibility is important and stuff, y'all don't need to rush and run out here to try to figure out who you are. We as human beings, Homo sapiens, we're constantly evolving, we're constantly changing and all that other stuff of who we are. And you don't have to just stick to one little thing just to please other people. Just be you at the end of the day. And so I did find it quite disgusting how there were people still in 2024 in Hollywood. Y'all are still out here encouraging people to hide their sexuality. And it wasn't just like behind the scenes people and other stuff. She was saying it was little friends of hers who work in the industry, like probably other actors who are probably queer like she is. Queer is like a general broad term that I like to use when it comes to talking about our entire community. So I feel like those are probably the people because like I said, in this day and age, when I said earlier in the show when I was talking about this topic, is that people feel that, when if I'm associated with this person that's queer, then people are gonna automatically assume that I get down like they get down. 9 times out of 10, it might be true, but people need to also realize that you can be heterosexual and have gay friends. I have a lot of straight male friends. I'm not trying to sleep with any of them, but because I respect who you are and your boundaries and that sort of thing. And I feel like we as human beings need to do that. We need to get out this whole fetish thing, or maybe just leave it as a fetish. This whole idea of like gays who love getting with straight guys and getting them gotta moments. So, first of all, a lot of y'all need y'all head examined if y'all be into that shit anyway. This whole idea of like, oh, I need to turn a straight guy out because that gets you what brownie points, get your dick hard, get you whatever. Like I don't get that. Me, I don't got time to be messing with nobody that's not into me in return. I'm not sitting up in here working extra hard to get in somebody's pants. You either want to fuck or not. I ain't got time. I got things to do. I'm busy. Shit. So congratulations to all the winners. Congratulations to, like I said, Niecy. Congratulations to Oprah, and continue being, big supporters and hard workers for the community, and continue to push the boundaries of like, more stuff coming out there. And shout out to Elliot Page because Elliot Page also said that the queer market is not a niche market, and we're not. And I think we need to get out of that mind space where he said that we're not a niche market in regards of like gay movies, gay shows and stuff. Why are we considered niche? Now, if we said that black movies were a niche market, that would be racist. So I don't think it's a niche market. I just feel like there's so many different genres of films that should be celebrated. The fact of the matter is, Hollywood is more or less interested in thinking that everything needs to be white because white is more marketable to all those other markets. Those other self-hating colorist markets like China and all them other places. We got all these Asian people out here thinking they white or trying to be, but that's a whole other conversation for a whole another day. And speaking of Asians, I want to give a shout out to Joel Kim Booster. I'm like, I saw him the other day on RuPaul's Drag Race. That boy is fine. But we all knew that because we saw him half naked throughout that whole damn movie he did Fire Island. And then on top of that, when he was in the episode of when he did Drag Race, I'm like, ooh, I just want to jump that boy bones. That man bones. Okay, so let's get to the comments. And that for St. Patrick's Day, which I believe wasn't that yesterday? So the only flaws were fellow travelers were the flashbacks that completely spoiled the ending of the series. Well, yeah, I mean, I liked seeing some of the past stuff, and then it kept going back into like the what was it, the 50s or the 60s? I think it was the 60s. And then they would go to the 80s, and then it kind of got into that whole, AIDS situation. So yeah, I do think that it was spoiling stuff, but I did like one of the things I will say that I loved about that series is I did love them focusing more on like the 60s and that whole era of like the conservative white guys and women who were out here in same-sex relationships but having to being secretive about it, and then transforming fast forwarding to the 80s and all the other stuff was going on there. So I thoroughly enjoyed it, and I was glad that they won. But yeah, I do feel like there were parts of Fellow Travelers that were uneven. Okay, so we got 3 more topics, and then we are done with today's show. So let's get to the talk because I forgot to add that to the docket, even though I had it up here. I was like, I had the article open and everything, but I forgot to add it. But anyway, so CBS recently, we talked about it a couple of weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, that CBS is developing a new soap opera called The Gates, which will focus on a wealthy Black family living in a gated community. Now, CBS's latest announcement, of soap opera veteran Michelle Valjean's new Sudser, centered around a wealthy Black family, has many fearing that. And here's the part that irritated me with this sentence when I read it earlier from Radar Online, saying that Jerry O'Connell's daytime talk show, The Talk, might be on the chopping block. Before we get to the rest of this article, this is not the Jerry O'Connell show and with the Pips. It's not called Jerry O'Connell and the Pips. It's The Talk, and Jerry O'Connell is a part of the ensemble. The Talk existed long before Jerry O'Connell was added. Then they decided, because it was a ripoff of the View, we all know this, and at first they were doing like 5 women or whatever, and then they decided to mix it up by bringing 2 guys on. So I just wanted to bring that out. Now it says, with tanking ratings and a major management shakeup, cutting the syndicated program might be the only viable move for the network. Valjean, who's written over 2,000 episodes of daytime classics like The Bold, the Beautiful, and General Hospital, is back with The Gates. The new soap has several recognizable industry names tied to it, signaling it'll likely be a hit, especially considering there are only 4 daytime dramas in existence. You want to know something? With this show, you know who I think will be good for it? And I know she's over there at Lifetime. But Vivica Fox might be a good addition to that show. I think bring Vivica Fox on, bring Cynthia Bailey, because I know she's trying to get into acting. Like, really bring some icons on there. And even if y'all can y'all get Marla Gibbs a gig? Like, I would love to see Marla. Marla is in her 90s. I just saw her. I think she was was she at the NAACP Image Award? Miss thing look good. First of all, so shout out to Marla Gibbs. I always love me some Marla Gibbs ever since she played Florence on The Jeffersons. She was always my favorite on that show. And her and Sherman Hemsley would go at it. So y'all can get some iconic Black folks on that damn show. Trust and believe. I will definitely get back into watching soaps. And I don't watch soap operas because I haven't watched soap operas since I was a kid. And I used to sit up and when I would get babysat, whenever I would get in trouble in school, I would watch Days of Our Lives with my babysitter. And then when my mother, she was always watching like ABC stories. So she would watch All My Children, General Hospital, One Life to Live, Ryan's Hope, um, The City. They had so many damn shows on that damn network, and now they only got one. So it says that while Valjean will serve as writer and showrunner, she'll also be executive producing alongside CBS Studios and NAACP Venture President Sheila Ducksworth, Leon Russell, Derek Johnson, and Kimberly We don't need to go through all the names, whatever. But they also said that CBS has not revealed how long each episode will be or where it will fit in the network's lineup schedule. Well, why not make it an hour? And it said that The Young and the Restless is currently ranked #1 in daytime dramas and was just picked up for 4 more seasons. So that's out. The Bold and the Beautiful is also doing exceptionally well in the ratings category, ranking #2 in daytime soaps. The show has also been renewed through fall 2025. Both of the CBS game shows, Let's Make a Deal, The Price is Right, are likely safe since they bring in solid ratings, leaving all eyes on the talk, which has shown decline in viewers for quite some time. The show, helmed by O'Connell, is the lowest rated show on the CBS daytime lineup. It's now in the 14th season and has undergone many major changes in front of and behind the camera. The network recently brought in Rob Crabby over to help the failing program. He was an EP on the Late Late Show with James Corden and has already made improvements, but he needs more time to make a true change, and he might be running out of time. So they said that the talk continues to be down double digits in the 18 to 49 age demographic. It's also the third most watched daytime talk show, trailing behind The View and Live with Kelly and Mark. And here's the thing: first of all, I didn't even know the talk was still on. Number two, 18 to 49-year-olds. No shade, we're not watching talk shows like that. The only show I do watch is The View because it comes on Hulu. So I watch that, and I've been rocking with them ladies for like since the beginning. So that's the only reason why I watch that show. And the talk has never really been that interesting. None of them people on that panel seem remotely interesting. I'm surprised Cheryl Underwood stayed as long as she was going to stay with that series until the wheels fell off of it, apparently. But I never really got into the talk. I never found it interesting. I don't feel like a lot of their topics are really that engaging. And like I've said when we were talking about a previous topic, is that I feel like daytime talk shows are on the decline. Y'all are not as interested. Like the only daytime talk show that I really watched that really gave me my life was Wendy Williams. Because Wendy Williams out here talking shit about all these celebrities that didn't give a damn. And she didn't get the celebrities, but she didn't care. We watched the show for the hot topics, and she gave us some good coffee making, or what was it like must watch morning tea. Even though I drink coffee and tea every now and again, but it just to me it's just like okay, y'all got these phony balonies out in L.A. You bring on these celebrities that nobody cares about. You don't really talk about any interesting topics or whatever. Daytime TV has gotten really boring and stale. You really need to look at a lot of these personalities, like look into a lot of these TikTokers, YouTubers, a lot of these people who have really interesting personalities and try to create shows around that. I feel like the influencers, those of us talking heads like myself, we are the future of what daytime and late night talk shows could be, but y'all want to still stick in your little bubble. You want to stick to the rivers and the lakes that you used to, and you're wondering why a lot of y'all ratings are declining. You don't want to diversify your portfolio. You don't want to diversify your talent. You want to stick to the same old Jimmys and Johns or whatever of late night. And you want to keep giving boring people and okay comedians who'll get a good joke in every now and again a talk show. That's what y'all want to do. So y'all will consider to see your ratings decline. Maybe soap operas are making a comeback. Look, Bravo been spending years making good content with their daytime talk shows. I mean, not daytime talk show, with their reality shows. The Housewives, that's a modern day soap opera. So I'm definitely curious about this. The Gate show. This sounds really good. We need a black soap opera. Look, we haven't had one since Generations back in the day, where y'all had Vanessa Bell Calloway and you know, oh my God, what was his name? The one that just passed away. I think he was on The Young and the Restless. The Black Christoph St. John. He was on there too, and also, may he rest in peace. And Vivica Fox, like they started out on there. So it would be cool if y'all could actually kind of bring in some iconic black actresses who really aren't like getting those roles in movies. Give them a chance to come on daytime TV and get them ratings up. Because trust and believe, black audiences will definitely show up for this show called The Gates if it's written well, if there's lots of drama, and depending on the type of who you cast for the show. So I'll definitely keep you guys updated on this. But yeah, child, that the cancellation of the talk has been a long time coming, and that's no shade. It's just a fact. So remember when Sharon Stone allegedly had Holly Robinson? Did she? Oh, you said Sharon. I said Sharon Stone, Sharon Osbourne. I was like, Sharon Stone. But yeah, I believe that. Yeah, and look at Sharon Osbourne. She can't get a damn job nowhere. See, Karma's a bitch. When you go and you pull out speaking of which, get Holly Robinson on the show. She's an icon in our space. I would love to see Holly Robinson Pete on a reality. I mean, not a reality show. No reality show. I know she hosts that show, The Queen's Court, that's getting a second damn season. I don't know why. That first season was atrocious, but apparently she's doing season two. But in addition to that, I think she'd be good to see on a show. Oh, you know who they should bring on this? Let me not be messy. Maybe you know who they should bring on this soap. I was gonna say Christian Keys. Or you know who also be good too, since he's about to be freed up. Cause they SWAT's going in his final season. Shamar Moore. Why can't Shamar Moore come back to daytime? Pay him some good money. I'd love to see him on there. Remember when he was on the Young and the Restless? It's fine behind. But I like to see him on there. We need some eye candy. Okay, now speaking of eye candy, and I'm saying that sarcastically, let's talk about Chris Appleton, who I don't know if y'all are familiar with that name, but he is Kim Kardashian's hairstylist. And we had talked about it on the show where he was in a quick relationship with Lucas Gage, the actor. They announced they were, dating or IG official. I don't understand people that, they make their relationships official by going on social media, but if you like it, I love it. I'm not judging, but I am. Um So they made their relationship Instagram official. I think they went to Mexico. They posted a bunch of pictures and stuff up there, was showing like how much in love they were. Okay, yay! And then after that, all of a sudden, was it maybe less than 6 months later? They told about they were married. The episode of their episode of their wedding was filmed for Kim's show, Keep with the Kardashians. I almost said Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That show ain't been on in a while, but the Kardashians show on Hulu. Funnily enough, when the episode aired of their wedding was when they announced they were getting a divorce, which I cackled about because I was like, I've been said that this relationship wasn't going to last. First of all, y'all was moving way too fast. You didn't give time to get to know each other. And here y'all are broken up in less than a year of even not only dating, but getting married. So according to Us Weekly, you know, and after the divorce happened 4 months ago, following the divorce, Chris has now moved on. And so, according to Us Weekly, Chris has been dating again after his divorce from Lucas. This is what a source close to exclusively told Us Weekly, noting that the celebrity hairstylist has been seeing Federico De Bernardi, a successful art dealer who prefers to live his life out of the limelight. Now, the insider adds that the pair's romance is very new, but they have been on a few dates, telling us that Appleton, who's 40, is extremely happy with where he is right now. Appleton's new romance comes 4 months after he filed for divorce from Gage, who's 28. Appleton cited irreconcilable differences as the reason for their split per court documents obtained by Us at the time. Their date of separation was listed as November 10th, 2023, one day before Gage and Appleton's wedding was featured on an episode of Hulu's The Kardashians, where Kim Kardashian officiated the couple's vow. Child, first of all, y'all let Kim, who can't keep a man, officiate your wedding. You should have known that shit was doomed. It says, but ahead of the ceremony, Kardashian, who was 43, urged the two to get a prenup. Us confirmed that a post-nuptial agreement was signed in May of 2023. Now, days after the separation made headlines, a source exclusively told us that the split was not amicable, saying that this is not where they wanted this to end up. It will take time for both to get to a place where they can move past this and get on with their lives. A second source claimed that the reason for the divorce was because of infidelity in the relationship, alleging that Gage cheated on Appleton, who later found out about the infidelity and called it quits. At the time, the insider clarified that the pair were never in an open relationship, although I had heard rumors that Gage wanted to be in an open relationship. And my thing is this: if you're going to get married to someone who's in their 20s and you're in your 40s, and when you get to your 40s, I think that's a point in your life where you pretty much are self-assured and you know who you are, and you know what you want, and you know what you will and will not put up with. Whereas someone who is in their late 20s and about to hit 30, they're still in that period of trying to figure out who they are and still wanting to be out here young, dumb, full of cum, living free, doing all kinds of things. And this newer generation, even though I've heard that the Gen Zs and Gen Alphas are more or less about they want to be in these committed relationships and all this other stuff. I call bullshit. I think a lot of them still want to be out here laying low and spreading it wide like most people and most men. So I'm not buying that whole thing of, oh, they want to be in a one-on-one relationship. They want to be in a monogamous relationship or whatever. And do I think that Lucas was out here laying low and spreading it wide with other people while he was in his marriage? Or maybe he wanted an open relationship? Possibly. I mean, I wouldn't put another past him. I mean, no shade, but I've always felt that Lucas gave me opportunistic tease, that he was just someone who loves attention and will go about it and by any means necessary. And but then I should say that a third source disputed the allegation and claimed to us that Gage didn't cheat on Appleton, insisting the duo split was amicable. Now, months after the breakup, the White Lotus star seemingly threw shade at Appleton when asked by TMZ why he joined the Hinge dating app as opposed to Raya. He replied, "The real ones." He says, "We don't need any more influencers included. We're good. We've done that already." Well, honey, you done fucked and married an influencer, but I guess he's implying that Chris was trying to piggyback off of his career or he was an opportunist, whatever the case was. And it's no shade, but maybe a little bit, because I always say it's no shade before I throw it, right? Neither one of y'all are big enough in the celebrity repertoire space to even be trying to influence or piggyback over each other's situation. Maybe y'all thought about getting together that y'all would go get trended or start trending, whatever the case is, because of because of Chris's association, say that 10 times fast, with Kim Kardashian. But it's like, okay, you do her hair. Nobody's seeing you all the damn time. I mean, I don't know. Did he always get like little scenes and stuff on Keeping Up with the Kardashians or the Kardashians for those of y'all who actually watch the show? Because I don't. So I don't know like how much he's in the show or he pops up or he's curling her hair while she's sitting over there talking about her relationship and family woes or whatever the case is, or fighting with Courtney. Who knows how much screen time he gets when he's on her reality show. But for the most part, it's like Lucas is not that big enough of an actor where he could be even trying to behave the way, but like you're not in the same, you know, circle as a Austin Butler, a Timothy Chalamet, or any of those types. So I don't understand why he's even trying to put that energy out there. And the same thing with, like I said, with Chris. It's like, yeah, he's in his 40s, whatever, and I believe he has a son from a previous relationship. But people don't know you like that for y'all to be trying to piggyback on talk about, oh, we don't want influence and stuff. But there was rumors, I should point this out, that they're saying that Gage had found him a new boo, and apparently he's seeing Saltburn actor Archie Madekwe, and who's 29 years old, but he said that they're not dating. He said they're friends, and how he's cool with Archie. Now, for those of you who don't know who Archie is, he was the he was in Saltburn as, he wasn't part of the family, but he was taken care of. So he was the black kid, the one that worked my goddamn nerve when he was going after Barry Keoghan. And Barry found a way to get him out the picture, like the whole family. So he was the pain in the ass queen in that damn movie. So apparently that's supposed to be who Lucas Gage is dating, but that's not apparently not true. But anyway, so I say all this to say the reason why I brought this up, I was like, first of all, I've said this like before, they move way too fast in this relationship. All of a sudden, y'all came out and said, oh yeah, we're dating and we're this and we're that, and then all of a sudden, less than 6 months later, y'all untied the knot, y'all moving too quickly, and it's like, what is the hurry? Like, why are y'all so quick to move so fast? And you haven't taken the time to really get to know each other. I feel like maybe, when it comes to relationships, y'all need to take a year or two to get to know each other before y'all even think about marriage, buying rings, well, you can take trips and stuff if y'all want to go somewhere, but I feel like that there needs to be at least past 6 months or maybe nine, no, I'll say 9 months. It would be 9 months me being in a relationship with you before I even consider going to the Bermuda, Bahama. Come on, pretty mama. Before I go on any trip with any man. I will go on trips like cruise or whatever with my friends before I do that with somebody I'm in a relationship with. I'm not interested in moving that quickly when it comes to people. So that you just need to take the time to get to know each other before y'all move too fast. But it could be that it's just y'all were just so excited that adrenaline is rushing, and people be so quick to jump into things before they're even ready to before they even get the opportunity to truly get to know this person. And then now that y'all are married and all this other stuff, now you starting to realize, oh, now you starting to see the faults. Now you starting to see the things you ain't like about that person. Now y'all want to sit and discuss open relationships. Well, y'all should have had that open relationship conversation date night number one when we, you know, gonna eat and go to the movies or whatever the case is. Me personally, I don't like going to the movies on a date. I do not think that going to the movies is a good date situation because you're not really getting to know each other. We're staring at a screen. We don't get the time to talk or whatever. I say go to a cute little restaurant, get you some nice wine and some nice food. I'm not saying you got to order filet mignon, but it would be nice to just go to like a nice little dinner or whatever where y'all can have conversation. Or like for me, a fun night is karaoke, axe throwing, yeah, I'm chilling my inner Wednesday. It's like we could go to like one of those axe throwing spots in Brooklyn. Like there's so many interesting and fun things that you could do when, if for a date night. I'm all about like let's have fun on a date. And that way we get to know each other and what people are into instead of doing the whole typical, oh, let's go to the movie, let's go out to eat. Like that's boring. Let's go axes. Let's go to the shooting range. That'd be good if you like gay and dating in Texas. But they like all that stuff. But anyway, so good luck to y'all with y'all little relationships or whatever. And I'm glad that Chris Appleton has moved on. Speaking of which, I think this is the new boo. And no shade, because I'm gonna pull this picture up for a second. Chris's new man looked way better than Lucas Gage. I was like, oh, who's that all-American white man? He fine, and he got body, yada yada. Not saying that Lucas Gage didn't have body, but the new boyfriend gives me like Henry Cavill, Chris Hemsworth tease in the visual. And in case, like, let me scroll on down. If y'all don't know what Archie looks like, that's the other actor who they're saying that Lucas Gage is allegedly dead. I say, yeah, you're 27. You still give twink with the body. Like you give me like you would date Archie or Troy Zimon. So y'all the perfect demo for that. But let's move on. And we got our final topic, which will be oh wait, we don't. We got two housewives topics, so we got two more. But let me read these comments. Um, I think it's so selfish for a 40-something to marry a 20-something. Other than the bedroom, what do they absolutely? And this is why I'm not someone who is really for dating extremely young. It's the same energy, and that's why I hate when people act like, oh, y'all need to give the same energy for da 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 and those other stuff. And it's like the same energy I have for Chris and Lucas, the same energy I have for Drea and that basketball player that she went and trapped to get pregnant by because she need money. And she realized, her pussy is no longer going to be currency. So, because, she's hitting that age where it's like, okay, girl, you should have been trying to settle down with a man, and being a housewife if that's what you wanted a long time ago. But now you out here using your vagina for currency so that way you can get a payout because you know that relationship with that 22-year-old and you 39 is not going to last. So I do agree with that. It's like other than like if I'm, 40 and I'm with a 20-something-year-old, sex is the only thing I'm looking for with you. We can be fuck buddies, we could all this other stuff, but I'm not gonna get in a relationship with a 20-year-old. What do I have in common with you? Well, we're gonna talk about Chloe Bailey? Or what do 20-year-olds talk about each other? You gonna talk about an influencer on TikTok that I'm like, huh? Like I'm completely, even though I do post things on TikTok, I was like, I don't know, have them fucking people up there. So we're gonna have influence like TikTok influencer conversations, or we're gonna be talking about who's the Olivia Rodrigo. Like I gotta listen to you talking about that. I'm like, I don't like that, I don't know nothing about that girl music. Now, if you want to talk about the people she was inspired by, like Avril Lavigne and Courtney Love, then we can have that conversation. But if you think I'm going to sit there and have a conversation with you about Olivia Rodrigo and how her music influences you, I'm just going to look at you like, can we just go back to the room and fuck? I'm just being honest. 'Cause I finally watched that movie, All of Us Strangers. It was good but confusing. And that's, I think, one of the reasons why I've been hesitant to watch. I think Andrew Hay is the name of the director. A lot of his content is relatively good, but it's confusing because I saw his movie Weekend. I was confused by that. although it was good. Looking is another show I believe he did that lasted about 2 seasons, and they went and did then they did another show. What was it? Oh no, they did the movie for HBO. It was good, but it was boring. It was a little too talky, according to a lot of people. So he has a definite style of realism, but yeah, at some points it does get his stuff can be a bit confusing to people. Okay, so okay, let's move on to the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills because child Kyle done got on my root canal nerve, and I think it's her time to go, but I don't think she is gonna go. So during part three of the reunion that aired on March 13th, host Andy Cohen asked Kyle a fan submitted question, even though he should have asked it, but he be I think Andy likes to hide behind the fans because he's too damn close to these people and don't want to ask the questions that we all want to know. So he asked her why she hasn't been forthcoming about the reasons behind her and Mauricio's split. And she said it's nobody's effing business. This is what she said after host Andy Cohen asked a fan submitted question about why she ain't come clean. At another point during the reunion, though, Richard, who's 55, touched on her previous statement during the season 13 finale that alluded to the reason for her separation. In the finale, she said there were things that happened that made her lose her trust in her husband. Cheating, allegedly. With any marriage, there's issues that you have and they come up, and then something like I said in my interview happened where I did lose my trust, she tearfully explained during Wednesday's episode. So I care about my family first, and I really did try, but then when I couldn't, the kind of things that I don't want to say putting up with, just became more, girl, you was putting up with it. And it's like, I guess I couldn't do that anymore, and I finally just had a breaking point. But they split back in July of 2023 and they kept the shit secret, didn't even tell us or nothing. And then when the show wrapped, that's when the statement about the divorce came out from People magazine, which I'm sure Kyle and them leaked it. And then what happened was production was like, "Oh hell no, y'all not! Like we're not gonna wrap this show, and you're not gonna tell us the tea and really do it. So y'all gonna go right back. We're gonna bring cameras over to the." Richard's Umansky household. You go either you can or cannot. You don't have to, but hopefully you will. Invite all the daughters come over, have them sit on the couch, and we announce we're splitting, and then we get to see Porsha have an emotional breakdown, and then end scene, and then we move on. I hate putting it that way, but when these people sign on for these reality shows where they get paid millions of dollars to tell a business, this is the nature of the game. You got to put out the good, the bad, and the indifferent of your relationships. You don't get to cherry pick and to put out what you want and what you will and will not talk about because it's out there. And they also said that Mauricio discusses the separation in the second season of Netflix's Buying Beverly Hills, saying I had this amazing 26 years with your mom, an amazing 26 years. I want to do everything possible to just save it, he said to their emotional daughters. I call bullshit on this because I feel like over the years there have always been stories about Kyle and Mauricio and their relationship not being as perfect as they try to perpetuate it on TV, and the fact that Mauricio was out here laying low and spreading it wide with plenty of women while he was out traveling, opening up the agency and all this other stuff. And I truly believe those stories. This is all alleged, but I do believe these stories. The word has always been floating around about him for years, as well as Lisa Rinna's husband, Harry Hamlin, hunching other men whenever he come to Canada. But you ain't hear that from me. Anyway, back to this story. Allegedly. Um, with And then I had a conversation with somebody because I posted this article on my Facebook page. And shout out to you, Celine Dion. I mean, Celine Dijon. That's a drag name. I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with you because she was like, "Oh well, Kyle doesn't have to reveal stuff about her life if she doesn't want to." And I'm sitting there like, because if you're on a reality show and you get paid millions of dollars to put your personal business out for all of us to consume and to critique, isn't it part of the gig that you have to spill tea about your personal life, whether you're on a high with your husband and y'all are all traveling and doing all the amazing things. If you're going through a divorce, we need to see that play out. If you're pregnant and you have a miscarriage, we got to see that play out because it's a part of your life. It's a part of your storyline. It also shows the fact that a lot of these reality shows ain't necessarily real. And I've been telling y'all that for years. A lot of it is not necessarily scripted, but is produced in a way where it's just like, okay, we're gonna come up with these moments and you're gonna improvise. And that's what I call it, improvised television. People call it scripted. I call it improvised television. The producers, they tell you something. Oh yeah, you're gonna meet up at this restaurant. You're gonna have this conversation, and y'all just and once they hit action, you come in for your scene. You sit down and you bring up this, and you respond however you respond. And that's why they do these shows. But I disagree. It's like, Kyle, you getting paid all this money. You are the show, the most popular girl on the show. You're Andy's favorite. And my thing is the reason why I think a lot of people say these things about these reality stars and why they give them so many, little let them get away with so much because y'all allowed them to get away with so much. For years, you allowed them to try to control the narrative. It's like, no, as a consumer, as someone who's in media, also who has to, it's so frustrating when we have to talk about this. We're the ones who have to bring this up and really break down all this stuff because Andy Cohen too damn scared to ask the questions, or he want to softball a lot of y'all with the questions because it's like he want to maintain y'all little friendships or whatever with you. But if you're gonna hold if somebody comes out and stuff, you gotta hold them accountable for the things. And like like Erica said, it's like just like you raked me over the calls last season about all the stuff that was coming out with me and Tom and all that other stuff, then you need to hold other people accountable as well. You need to hold Kyle accountable for what's going on in her personal life. And if Kyle thinks that she's exempt, that her friends are only supposed to just kiss her ass and put up with whatever, then sis, you in the wrong business. Or maybe what it is she, Hollywood is so damn phony. And we know her sister, Kathy, has a lot of power and influence in Hollywood and Kyle's trying to be that girl. Um, the reality is the fact that if you're going to be in a reality show and you're going to be spilling your tea, if you're not willing to give the fans what they want, if you're not willing to open up your life and let people know what was the cause of the situation, or maybe what it was is that she was trying to give Mauricio the opportunity to tell his side or whatever the case was, and if you're not willing to tell us, then maybe you need to leave reality TV. But I don't feel like she is because, I'm thinking what's next for her because if that's going to be her overall attitude, she's going to have to play up this whole Morgan Wade situation, the fact that she's about to become like in a situation like Niecy Nash and Jessica Betts, even though the way Niecy Nash went about her whole situation is way more believable than Kyle. And I feel like Kyle's coming to terms with the fact that she is falling out of love with Mauricio because she put up with a lot of his cheating over the years, looked the other way. A lot of women sliding in his DMs, and she didn't mention that she doesn't like when women slide up in her husband's DMs. She didn't go further into it, but I always think that Kyle's issue is she always tries to put a band-aid on the situation and tries to act like if I pretend like it's not happening, it's not happening. But she's given us hints throughout the season that stuff was going on in her marriage, that her marriage wasn't perfect, that she'd be open to dating a woman. And they did say on the show, if you decided to get a relationship with a woman, we'll still love you, we still will support you and those other stuff. And if Kyle wants to explore the relationship with another woman, I'm here for that. I'm curious to see how that all will play out and how Morgan, balances her music career and being in a relationship with someone as big and major as Kyle Richards. And Kyle coming out later on in life exploring her sexuality because a lot of people tend to get like that. It's like, it's not even about sexuality and stuff. Maybe Kyle is pansexual, which is like, she came across this person and it was just the energy and she likes being around her and she's attracted to her in so many other ways on an emotional levels. Morgan listens to her, unlike Mauricio, because we've seen like clearly in this season, he really wasn't paying her no mind. She told him about the whole situation, the white party. He thinking they having in a damn parking lot. So it goes to show like the heifer don't listen. He more or less about his whole situation with the agency, which is why Paris had to cuss his ass out because she felt like you would stay trying to dick ride the Hilton name to make your whack ass show relevant. Cool. Sidebar: does anybody in here watch that that what is it, Buying Beverly Hills? I watch Selling Sunset. I don't watch Buying Beverly Hills because I never thought that Mauricio was that interesting to even be trying to watch in a real estate show. Sure, I will watch any of the old episodes of Million Dollar Listed before I watch his show. So, like I said, if Kyle's not willing to come out and spill her personal tea or whatever, then this needs to be her final season as a so-called housewife. But if you're willing to kind of open up more and we find out more in the next season, which I hear they're going to start shooting next month. That's kind of quick though. But I guess because so much is going on with Beverly Hills, they're trying to get that ball running. So that happens, then I'm here for it. Other than that, I'd be like, girl, get off my damn TV. Okay, so let's get to our final topic and talk about Nene Leakes, who was spilling tea about Porsha for allegedly refusing to film with her on Netflix's The Upshaws. Now, she said a whole lot of stuff, but what I want to do, because I don't want to read it, she revealed it online and I hadn't to come across it. So I want y'all to hear it from the horse's mouth, and then we'll come back with the rest of it.
A disappointing video, but nonetheless, here goes. So earlier this week, I was told by my management company that the Netflix scripted series called The Upshaws were interested in casting me for a part. In Upshaws, it's Mike Epps and Wanda Sykes. Directing this particular episode is Kim Fields. I was excited to do it. It's a comedy. I love comedy. I used to have a comedy show out on the road. Some of you guys know. So comedy is something that I love to do and was really happy to do it. As the talks went on, we agreed upon whatever we agreed upon. I was to fly out to LA on Tuesday. They told me that Porsha William Gubadia was also playing in this particular series. She would be side by side with me. Excited. I haven't seen Porsha. We always have a good laugh when we see each other. So I was just like, okay, so me and Porsha are going to kill this part. I get to LA on Tuesday. They tell me to go straight to the studios. I need to go into wardrobe. Once I got into wardrobe, I'd chosen to wear like this silver color. They showed me a picture of Porsha. They said Portia's wearing something similar in color, and maybe I would choose something else because we were going to be, side by side doing this scene. No problem. I gave them a whole different look. They told me we were going to be having rehearsal. At rehearsal, I didn't see Porsha. There was a stand-in. We broke for lunch. We came back. We were going to do a whole run-through. I still didn't see Porsha. I'm just waiting to see Porsha, right? I'm excited to see Porsha. I'm like, well, I want to, make that Porsha sense. So me and her could chop it up. So Porsha never came. We wrapped for the evening. I went back to my hotel. When I got to my hotel, production called me and asked me if I had any issues with any housewives because they were going to be recasting the other position. And I was like, oh my God, no, like what? And they were going to recast the position that Porsha was playing. I was like, what? Why? And they said, do you have any issues with Kim Zolciak, Cynthia Bailey, Marlo Hampton? And I was like, no, like I just saw Kim recently and we talked. I talked to Cynthia Bailey often. I talked to Marlo Hampton often. No, like they ultimately cast Cynthia Bailey and she was flown out to LA on Wednesday. We did the part together. I was later told that Porsha did not show up to work and had said that she did not want to work with me, that we had issues from the past, and she did not want to work with me. Let me take that in for a second. Listen, I am more than disappointed. Porsha and I have double dated a few times, okay? Okay. Simon had a birthday. We were all in Miami together. We hung out for the whole weekend to celebrate Simon's birthday. We all decided one weekend to go to Vegas to see Usher. We all went to Vegas to see Usher, couples. I was in Dubai. Porsha and Simon were in Dubai. We all hung out. Yanni and I have gone to Simon and Porsha's home to hang out, party, drink. My son came over, brought hookahs. We ate African foods, had a great time. Of course, Porsha had a wedding, and I'm at her wedding. I've seen Porsha in Atlanta out. We've laughed and talked. I am shocked that Porsha would go to a production company. I am shocked to hear that Porsha would go to a production company and say that she doesn't want to work with me because we've had a lot of issues in the past. What lots of issues that we had in the past. Mind you guys, I haven't been a housewife in over 4.5 years, okay? Besides that, as Black women, okay, when you call a Black woman angry, difficult, we've got problems, I can't work with them on set, that is a death trap for a Black woman in the industry. We don't have any issues that we can't work together. We are professionals. We get on set and we work together and do what we got to do. Your issues in the past, if you had to pick a housewife, it certainly wouldn't be with me. It would have been with Kenya. It would have been with Candy. Those were your major issues. We've had petty things. We're on a reality show. So we obviously are going to have some sort of issues, but we've not had anything where we could not work together.
So that was going to go on and on and on. And I don't want to be here trying to play that long ass video. But for the most part, I just want y'all to get the meat and potatoes of the situation. And apparently, eventually, when she did get to it, she implied that basically the reason why, I think she said she hit Porsha up, but the reason why that they had, she didn't want to do the part is because she felt that Nene wasn't there for her when she was going through her divorce. And then Nene was like, well, it wasn't that long ago that y'all was so happy and excited to be in in love, and y'all was going on trips and all this other stuff. But then all of a sudden, y'all announced his divorce. And then, of course, all this tea started coming out about Simon and his scamations that's been going on. And now you want to disassociate yourself from the situation and all this other stuff because we already know what Porsha gives when she be looking for a certain type of man. It's like quiet as it's kept. There's only 2 heterosexual men I think that exist, all of them in Atlanta. So when y'all get one of them, and they're usually African, y'all had to try to trap them as much as y'all possibly can. Like Nene with her man and Porsha with hers, and not no more because apparently he done moved on. But quiet as it's kept, I also think that Simon want to be a housewife. Like a lot of these men out here, like Joe Gorga, y'all want a Pete so damn bad. I don't know, but because these heterosexuals, I think these straight men be straight men. Y'all just as messy as the gays, if not more. But she was sitting there like, and this is what I agree with. Like with me, when it comes to me and my friends, if y'all going through some stuff in regards of a relationship or breakup or whatever, I would send a text. I would say like, I heard what happened. When you're ready to talk, definitely hit me up. But for now, I'm gonna give you your space. And you go off and do what you got to do, and that's that. That's what I would have done. If Nene didn't do that, then I don't know. Maybe her and Porsha is not close enough as friends where she felt the need that she had to pry or whatever the case is. But it seemed like a lot of these people out here, y'all just be doing certain things for attention. Um, and I think like Porsha and Simon, this is a whole attention grab type situation. Maybe y'all trying to do all these stunts and shows to drum up interest in the Real Housewives of Atlanta because we know that Porsha's coming back. My thing is, I'm pretty much indifferent in regards to Porsha coming back. I could care less. If she comes, she comes. She don't, she don't. I'll check out the new season to see what it's giving. If I'm gonna give y'all 3 episodes like I usually do. That's my 3-episode rule. If you don't get me going in 3 episodes, I'm done. I put you on the back burner and I'll go watch something else. I'll rely on other people. If I see like a good amount of people that was like, oh, you need to come back and give the show a chance. It's getting good. Then I'm like, okay, I'll go in and I'll give it a chance again. Let me know which episode they start hitting the gas and they going. Or cooking with gas, I should say. If you let me know then I'll jump in. Or you could tap me in. But for the most part, it's like, if it's not given what needs to be given, I'm not sitting up in there and watching it. So I'll give it a chance. It's unfortunate this is you being petty in this way. It's like, oh, I'm not going to appear in a show because, oh, I don't like being around Nene because she wasn't supporting me during my divorce or my breakup with my man and this that, and the other. And it's like, okay, my thing is I'm always about giving people space to deal with what you need to be dealing with. If you feeling down or whatever the case was, relationships, whatever the case is, I've always been the type that I will give my friends a space to try to work out what they need to work out. But like I said before, what I will do is if we cool, I'm gonna hit you up with a text and be like, I heard what happened. Sorry that you're going through what you're going through. When you're ready to talk, definitely hit me with a message, call me, whatever the case is, we could talk about it. So other than that, and then at that part, I'm gonna give you your space. But I don't know. I just think it's ridiculous that, okay, well, you didn't want to do a show because you felt like she didn't support you during your relationship woes. It's like, girl, if you don't grow the fuck up. So I'll definitely keep you guys abreast of stories that develop. So look, Nene got her check doing the role that she needed to do, and Cynthia got what Portia's loss is Cynthia's gain. She got to come in, she got to chop it up with an old friend, and she got to make her little money. Sidebar: it would be nice if can y'all swap out Anne Marie since we talked about Beverly Hills? Can y'all? I mean, we talked about it in the previous episode. Can y'all swap out Anne Marie? Problematic ass. I didn't like her, and I realized a lot of people didn't like her ass either. I told her she the Black Diana. She the Diana of the season. Swap her out and bring Cynthia Bailey in because Cynthia Bailey, even though I did hear she went back to Atlanta, she has made appearances on Beverly Hills Housewives, and I think like if she get her a place out there, she mingles with a lot of the women. It would be nice to kind of have her come in and do the show. I want her to come on the show. I also want Camille back, and I would even like to see Kathy on the show, but Kathy is not really trying to fully invest time into doing the Housewives. She jumps in on her daughter's show, and you know, she ain't trying to come in on the Housewives with all that messed up what's going on over there. But her powerful behind. I believe she got what's her name chopped off the show. Well, she had a hand in getting rid of Lisa Rinna, problematic ass. But anyway, oh, it's funny. I guess you missed the last episode I did because I actually talked about Michelle Visage hosting Drag Race Down Under next season. But since we here, I actually am excited for it. And I said like what I said before, I think I kind of knew this was coming because I had a conversation with a friend of mine who, has done a lot of work with a lot of Drag Race girls. And I said that. I was like, that episode that they did of Drag Race UK versus the world, this recent season. And I said, there was a sequence when Michelle came in and hosted. I think it was the second episode. She pretty much hosted that entire episode, 3/4 of it. Ru came in during the judging part, like when he had to hit the runway and do welcome to Drag Race, the thing that he does during the elimination round. He came in for that. But Michelle pretty much did all the other heavy lifting because I think at the time Ru was sick. And that was probably and I was like, I said to my friend, I'm like, do you think that they're setting her up so like when Ru doesn't want to do any of the other shows that Michelle will host the franchise? And he was like, yeah, I think they are. And here, lo and behold, here this thing happened. So I will admit, like I said in the previous thing, I'm not a fan of Drag Race Down Under. I could never get into any of the prior seasons. I tried getting into the show. It just wasn't working for me. Maybe it was the lineup of queens, or maybe it just seemed like Rue's energy just didn't feel like it was there. Like it felt like he just tapped out at that point. Like he didn't care about the franchise. And I can understand that's a lot between doing the regular Drag Race, you're doing Drag Race All Stars, you're doing UK versus the world, you're doing the UK season. I wish he would come and do Canada because you ain't got to go far. Because I would do that. Like if I had my own reality competition series and I got some ideas in my head, I'm only doing the English speaking markets. Let me expand over have other people do it. But it was like I would do America, I would do the All-Star season of the American show, I would do the Canadian version of the show, the All-Star season of the Canadian show. We go into the UK, I'm gonna do the UK All-Stars version of that show. So that's 6 shows that I'm doing. Child, that's a lot of work and a lot of traveling. I would have to be like, okay, so we're gonna have to shoot all them shows back to back. Like we doing Canada and we do All Stars. We're gonna have to do all that within 2 months, so I can just stay up here and we keep it moving. 2 to 3 months, but it's a lot of work and it's a lot of traveling. I don't think you could pretty much have a life if you doing all that work. But like I said before, I'm excited for her to see. I want to see what she brings. They did say that Reese is staying and that they're gonna have a rotating bunch of drag queens from the show that will be in there. And I'm kind of glad you brought this up because it was something that I wanted to bring up in the last the previous episode that I did that I didn't bring up. I kind of wish they would do this with the American version of Drag Race. Like I would love to see more drag queens on the stage as judges, whether it's Drag Race alums like Alyssa Edwards, maybe you have her do like like if they do like a dance episode where they got to do choreography and stuff, you can have Alyssa Edwards and stuff sit on the thing as a judge and give critiques. Why not have that? But I feel like Rue's ego won't allow it. He won't allow these other girls to kind of have those opportunities next to him. Me, I'm well settled into who I am as a human being that I don't mind having someone who I helped career kind of blossom from being on my reality show, sitting next to me critiquing and doing challenges or coming up with choreography for the drag queens to do, and or for a musical or whatever the case is. Like I would love for that to see more of that on the American version. So I'm sure, like I said, they said they're going to be doing that for Drag Race Down Under. So I'm curious to see how that plays out. But I really wish they would do that over in America, where it's like you can have drag queens, be it from Drag Race or queens like Candace Kane sitting up there, or Kevin Aviance, who just was riding high at the Renaissance era. You should have had him up there, or kind of be a guest, star, or whatever the case was. So I would have wished they would kind of incorporate more iconic drag queens who have come up in the same era and space as RuPaul, but he ain't gonna do that because he's TV now. So that's how I hope I hit all the cylinders this time on that story. But anyway, so we have come to the end of the show. Hold on. Let's take that out. Agreed. It's like I said before I close out the show. Let me see if any more comments come in. Yeah, great idea. The show is bigger than Ru at this point. And I was going to say that it's like, and yeah, RuPaul will always be the queen of all, queens, the mother of drag queens and all the other stuff. Nobody is overlooking his accomplishments and how far he has come in regards to just being some plain old drag queen that went from Atlanta to come to New York and then hit it big with, working with Larry T. Shout out to Larry T. He is a friend of mine, who produced Supermodel of the World and that sort of thing. And seeing how big that has how that has expanded and what that has done. So I say all this to say that it would be a great idea to have someone these other fellow queens to come on social media and in these spaces on Drag Race and to have those iconic moments and to shine, because I feel like, especially with the baby gays and all this other stuff coming up, a lot of y'all need y'all history on drag and who occupies these spaces and their performances and what they've done and incorporated to the culture. So it'd be nice if we could actually see that instead of some episode of Drag Race where they doing a damn TED talk on drag queens, but we ain't learned nothing. Although I can't wait to see next week's episode of regular Drag Race when Q blows her damn top because she thought she was going to win that challenge with Plain Jane, and they gave it to Saphira. So she was bad about that. No. And I saw one more comment. Somebody trying to so what are you? A human being? What the fuck are you? So I say all that to say I'm done with today's show. Tune in next time for a brand. Let me take that mess out of here. So anyway, so tune in next week for a brand, or next week. Tune in tomorrow because I'm going to do another episode of Chris Evelyn Unfiltered. Like I told you, I've been a little behind in giving y'all entertainment news, gossip, hot topics. I'm sure because it's Monday, more stuff is going to come out. I'm going to work on some more articles tonight. Now, I've been crazy busy trying to catch up on things and absorbing information, watching other things, like seeing like, okay, what's been going on? I've been missing out on a lot of topics, working on some topics, that sort of thing. So we'll come with a full show tomorrow. I'll definitely give you all a little something to chew on. Thank you for those of you who have been tuning in and watching the latest episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Also, before you leave, hit that like button, that subscribe button, and that notification button so that way you know when we go live with a brand new episode of Chris Avalon Unfiltered. Once again, love you all for watching. Thank you all for supporting. And until next time, ciao, darlings.